All righty. Good evening, everybody. Please welcome my buddy JJ back to the show. We have a lot of cool and interesting stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. One of the big things tonight, we are going to have a little bit of a fundraiser here for the newest addition to the Devil Dog family. JJ adopted Nico, who was very neglected. He wasn't treated very well. And he's a very good dog. He didn't deserve that. I mean, no animal does, but that one especially doesn't. And JJ could use some help getting him taken care of and everything like that. So anything that you can provide would help. That QR code is up in the top left corner. My normal Buy Me a Coffee link is in the description on the YouTube side. In the event that you donate anything during this show and subsequent shows for the foreseeable future, it will be automatically sent to helping Nico get sorted out and everything like that. So JJ, how are you doing, brother?
Doing good. Thank you. I really appreciate you doing that, throwing up the QR code, and everything you just said is very true. This no animal deserves that, but it's not. There's no difference between any dog. But you see, once you see this guy, you're like, how could you do this to this little animal? And he's staring. He's looking at me right now because he knows I'm talking about him. Right? He's very smart, very smart. Yeah, he's looking at me. He knows I'm talking about him. And it's just like I said before we came on. He's laying there and he's so comfortable. I can imagine he's been in a cage for his whole life, and he'll just laying on a bed is like, must be like magical to him. Yeah, there he is. That's him.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, he hears us.
Yeah.
What's up, Nico?
Yeah.
Hi, buddy. Yeah, and Frank's laying over here on his little bed over here doing his thing, and we've got our little dog downstairs and everything like that. Oh, actually, he's upstairs. He's in the bedroom hanging out with his mom right now. But yeah, Nico was treated very horribly. Like, we won't elaborate too much on it because it's really sad. But I think so far, considering the short amount of time you've had him, it looks like he's come a long way already.
Yeah. Well, we will mention the Vicks Vapor Rub.
That's disgusting.
These people put Vicks Vapor Rub all over this dog, just apparently thinking that it would hide the smell because he was disgusting, and but I mean, spraying Febreze is a better idea than putting Vicks the first time I met him, I let him crawl. I lay on the ground and let him crawl on me, and I got that, if you put it under your nose, the Vicks, I like that. It was that thick. And they just rubbed it into. It took like 5 baths to get it. Get it out where you couldn't smell it from like 3 feet away anymore.
I'm glad they didn't have to take the clippers to him and get it out.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, is that they were going to have to give him a buzz cut to get it out.
Yeah, when he got groomed, like I told you earlier, he was mad at it. He was in the cage. He was being used as the breeder, the male breeder, to make puppies, and obviously, and he lived in his own feces, and his hair was just matted, it was horrible. So the first night because I didn't expect to actually keep a dog that night. It was kind of a shock to me that the dog was in this condition. So we wanted to see if the dog got along with Gino. That was the plan, and I didn't expect to take the dog in. I wasn't ready for that at that moment. Anyway, we were looking, and that night when I bathed him, the water turned brown, like a puddle, like a dirt, like a mud puddle. That's how brown it was. And someone said, well, he must have fleas, because fleas would cause your water to get brown or whatever. But actually, that's one thing he didn't have. It was fleas. Like, the only thing that wasn't an issue was he didn't have fleas, which was, thank God, because he came in my house, was all over the house, so we would have to bomb the house. But yeah, he's doing good. He's got a couple of problems with his leg. He needs a little physical therapy on his front left leg, but he's in great care with me. He's obviously, if you guys see on YouTube or even on X, the Devil Dog's channel, I put videos up. He goes to the park and plays with the dogs, and he's actually helping another dog, like a puppy that came in. He's helping that dog like acclimate to the park in the last 2 days. So he's smart. He's a really good dog, and he just needs the reason when it happened, it was the holidays, so everything's tight, and I didn't expect the expenses of a dog like this is a lot, the medical stuff. That's the reason. Like, I hate to make a QR code and a thing for and for donation, doing it like if I'm streaming and stuff, that's different. But like, asking for help for something else, it's kind of like embarrassing in a way. But it's not. I need to help this dog, and I'm not. If I gotta do what I gotta do. So I'm not ashamed of it. Of course, it's just like asking for help. It's kind of a man thing, I guess. I don't know.
It totally is. I mean, our species has survived from men being individually rugged and self-sufficient. So it's like that's a normal thing to be ingrained in our brain. And for people to say, "Oh, that's toxic of you," I'm like, "Do you want the Western world to collapse? Fuck you!" Like this is kind of. I think that. And speaking of weirdos. How dare you propose the idea, which is aging very well, mind you, that the Devils maybe should have traded Luke Hughes while they had the chance instead of paying him.
Unbelievable. And you know what the worst part of that for me is that I was telling people that he's purposely because I don't know, I'm gonna say some things that I usually wouldn't say, and nothing bad, but like personal stuff. I worked with the Hughes brothers 3 times over the summer. I've talked to them. I've listened to them talk to other people. I've heard a lot of conversations. I kind of know where they're at. I knew that Luke Hughes was going to play a game where he was not going to be in training camp. No matter if he was with the Devils, whatever team he went to, he wasn't going to training camp. He didn't want. It was not that he didn't want to, but I just knew. Like, I can't really explain how I know that, but through hearing him talk and stuff, I just knew that he was not doing anything till a training camp was over. And I said, because he's not going to training camp, his season is gonna his production's gonna suffer, and it's been insufferable. And last night he had the balls, Gino, stop it. He had the balls to say that he's been having a great season. He said the first 41 games have been excellent, or whatever he said last night. It was like just the most outrageous, dumb shit I've ever heard. You can see it on my channel. I put the video up. It's the post-game reaction from Luke Hughes. I threw some overlays over it, telling him like the play he made last night where he went in front of Jake Allen, and then the puck went in the net instead of going around the net.
Yeah,
he said that's something I do all the time. What the fuck? Why would you say that? You should never do that.
It doesn't matter what level of hockey you play at. You don't do that. The back of the net is your friend.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like, first of all, that's not even true because I watch every game in detail. I clip it, I rewatch it. You know what I mean? So I know details about every game. He doesn't do that all the time. First of all, thank God. And so that was just an excuse. But I mean, why would you even say that? That's so stupid. Yeah, I do that all the time. No, you don't. And why would you never do that? Never.
No.
And especially with Taylor Hall on your ass,
Yeah, because Hall still got some speed.
Yeah, and I put him because with the my DevilsJoint, the Devils, my podcast, I have the segment called the Taylor Hall of Shame, and I put Luke Hughes in the Taylor Hall of Shame today in today's podcast, that episode. So that was ironic because Hall was the goal scorer on that one. So
that is incredibly ironic. It's like, and it's like you and I are both defensemen. So like, when we see them do stuff like that, even we know they're way better at hockey than we ever were. But still at the same time, it's like when you see them make fundamental mistakes like that, you're kind of like, bro, what the hell are you doing? like
why you just don't skate in front of the goalie, especially in like that situation. Just looking at the ice. If you just pause it and look where Hall is and where Luke Hughes is and where no one else is, there's no one else around. You don't go right in front of Jake Allen, who actually looked like he didn't expect that at all because he was kind of loose, he was, obviously he's playing goal, but he wasn't like fully positioned like he was expecting the puck to go near him, I'm sure he thought Luke was going to go around the net. And after the game on the Devils broadcast, every player came out. They must have been told to do it or something, and glazed Luke Hughes so hard. It was horrible. I hated it. They had Jake Allen, Nico Hischier all come out and defend him. Like, just let the game go. He scored 2 goals on his own team. He's scored now like 5 goals against the Devils this season. He has 1 for the Devils, or 2 maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I mean, for the Nico Hischier, the worst captain in history of the NHL, and for him to come out and Jake Allen, like everyone's had to come out and say something, to protect Luke Hughes. You got to protect the Hughes brothers, protect them at all costs. Fuck them. Sorry.
No, dude, I don't blame you. It's like it's the same thing with like there's a lot of things that worry me in regards to hockey or sports in general now. There is so much of revenue and economy for these especially in the big sports in North America that is driven more by popularity, social media presence, and stuff like that, as opposed to the game itself.
Talent. Right. So
that's becoming a problem.
Yeah. And in the Devils, as a Devils fan for decades, and any fan, and I don't disparage any fans or that are new fans. Of course, you want new fans. Of younger kids become fans. Even people my age, get into hockey randomly and they become a Devils fan. I have a friend who just got into hockey. She's a Devils fan now. But they don't know what it was like to be a fan of the Devils when they were a powerhouse in the NHL, and they were one of the most unique teams in history with the way that Lou Lamoriello didn't really rely on trying to bring in stars. They kind of grew them themselves, even though you could say Scott Stevens wasn't, drafted by the Devils, of course, but, most of the team was from their draft. They had great scouts like David Conti. And with Marty Brodeur for 20 years, around 20 years, once he left the Devils, that was when things started to fall apart, because it's almost like the organization had no idea how to work with goalies because they didn't have to for so long. And they're still going with that now when they've just signed 2 36-year-old guys to a 5-year contract and a 2-year contract. So, I mean, which is just outrageous. It's not the same organization is what I'm saying. And I wish some of the I feel bad for some of the Devils fans these days. I wish they could have experienced like those teams that we used to have that were fun to watch. They were winning championships, and they don't know what it's like. And from my opinion, they're not gonna find out, because the Devils are weak, and Jesper Bratt is my favorite player. Everyone knows that, but he's still not as elite as he's not an elite player. Like he's not the guy, and Jack Hughes is injured too much and he's still too small. Did you hear what Paul Bissonnette said about Jack Hughes?
Nah.
He's early in the week, they announced, that he was part of Team USA, and he was out here in New York on Good Morning America or some shit. And they were outside, and he was with the female hockey player, and I don't know who the other guy was, Olympians. And they said, and Biz is right. He said they bring out the female, and she's the one who looks like the hockey player. Jack Hughes looks like a twig, and then the girl looks like a beast, And I forgot what he said. You got to go check. If anyone listening to this, please go watch that clip. I don't remember what he said, but he's 100% right. And then that's where Jack Hughes was shown for the first time with still wearing, a thing on his hand, because they've been cutting off every video or picture of him cutting him off at the elbow. And they, he had the I don't know, not a cast,
the steak knife injury or whatever.
Well, the big rumor, and I guess it would be true, is that he fell. This is what they said. Ryan Novos went to Washington, D.C. when the Devils played the Capitals and got this info. He said that Jack fell, like he slipped, and his hand fell into broken glass. I don't even know how that would happen in a very hot 5-star restaurant, first of all, but
if it happened outside, that wouldn't surprise me, because DC's a shithole.
That's a different. Yeah.
Speaking from experience, I used to live there very recently, so I could see that there were times where me and my girlfriend, we would go when the Hurricanes were in town, right? and we're like dodging drug addicts, and there's needles on the ground, and fucking, there was all kinds of stuff there.
It's been cleaned up recently.
From what I've been told, yeah, because I still got friends who live there, and they're like, yeah, it's actually pleasant to go there now. And it's like, I'm looking forward to, like, one day her and I are going to go back up there, and this time as tourists as opposed to residents, not be worried about it constantly, because like dude, there was one night when we went there to go see the Hurricanes play, and there was some guy out there, and he was clearly on something. He's sitting there, like, we're wearing our Cane stuff. He's like, yeah, man, fuck the Devils. I'm like, well, I agree, but like, not for the reasons that you would think. He thought that we were wearing New Jersey Devils stuff. and I was just like, because we were in line to get in the game, we're like, let's just avoid this motherfucker and get in there, because I don't know what's going on here. Thankfully he was gone when we came back out. No, but it was like, but that was the whole thing about it, is like, I remember when you and I were talking about this before Luke signed, and I was agreeing with you on, like, hey, you might want to consider, like, just cutting your losses here, because you've got Nemec, Kovacevic, and
I love, like, both of them.
Both of them are great. And then who's Seamus Casey? You've got him too. I think he's really good. So it's like, and I think that was before you traded Holtz, I believe. I think that was before that.
It was before that. Holtz was traded for Cotter.
Yeah, I think that was before that, and that's why you and I were both kind of like, you're pretty stacked on the blue line. You've already got Dougie Hamilton's contract, who I did like while he was in Carolina. But Dougie Hamilton Dougie Hamilton, to play his best, he needs a safety valve to his left. And when he's playing with Siegenthaler, he's pretty good. He was great with Slavin, but Slavin makes everybody around him better. And
Siegenthaler is a little lower on the totem pole there, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's like Siegenthaler, I'm actually, like, when he played in Washington, I was like, I don't think this guy's going to stay in the league. And then he came to you guys, and
became incredible.
Yeah, it's like, whatever.
He's one of my favorite, like, recent Devils defensemen, actually. Because he was just unexpected. We signed him, and it's like, who is this guy? Never really heard of him. I've heard of him, but like never really heard of him. And he was just very good defensively. He's a +7 right now. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's a very lights out guy. He really is. Like, I'm very impressed with how,
and he throws hits.
He's doing that now a lot more. He didn't do that very much in Washington.
Yeah, now
that was the thing. Now he's laying the body, and he's stable on his feet. He's a good skater, so he can make that body contact and stay on his feet. But like, I remember we were talking about that, and you had the audacity to say in public that you thought that maybe you should consider trading Luke. And I agreed with you. And one of the people in the comments said, "Oh, to who? The Canes?" I'm like, I don't want him. I'm just saying, for the Devil's own good, send him out west and get something you need. Get another winger.
Yeah.
And then maybe you don't have Andre Palat weighing you down.
Exactly. And like I said, and I've heard, this is the words that I've heard, okay, from Luke Hughes' mouth. Not saying that he talked to these people or anything, but he said he likes the Midwest. I don't know, this isn't quote, okay? He likes the Midwest. He mentioned Utah, St. Louis, and Minnesota then, which is ironic now that Quinn Hughes went to Minnesota. I said St. Louis, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So those are the three places that he met. He was talking to, another guy that works with Fanatics, like one of, I don't remember who it was, but he was talking to him, and he was saying, if he was to be a number one defenseman somewhere in the future, something about Utah, like he likes that, I don't know, something about he likes the aura of that place, or something about liking Utah. I don't remember, but I think it would have been great to send him to Utah. He would have been good for him to get out of his brother's shadow, be the only Hughes on the team. I think that weighs him down. Even
Utah, that would have been he would have been the face of the franchise there too. Like, that would have been his team.
Yeah, and I think he knows that, and that's why I overheard him say that. Like, I think he knows Utah would, and even St. Louis right now, he could have done that. I think that, not in Minnesota, but especially now with Quinn there, but you don't want brothers on your team. Like, you guys are lucky, man. Like back in the day when brothers were on teams, it really wasn't a problem, but now it's like, unless it's just these two guys, and also the coach, you got to put it on the coach too, because he's not putting Hamilton out on the power play one with with Jack Hughes. He's putting Luke Hughes out there, and when Luke and Jack are together, they have blinders on for each other only, and that's not 100%. Obviously, then it's not like they only pass to each other, but you can see they're looking for each other. And Luke makes that stupid drop pass every single time. It's like, how have they not just crushed him in the center ice? Like, they know he's gonna come skate through the center ice and then just drop the puck back. I would have my fucking team ready for that, like, immediately. I don't know why no teams are countering this stupid play. Because it's very obvious. You see it coming. I put it up yesterday. I said, I think I called it. It said, like, Devil's trivia. I said, what's Luke gonna do next? And I played the play up to where he's about to drop the puck back on the power play. And I stopped it there. Like, what's he gonna do next? As a joke, of course, because you know what he's gonna do. And he did it twice on that shift, actually.
That seems to be a problem, like, across the league, though, the whole drop pass for the speedy zone entry on the power play thing. And there's some teams that can do it. They've got the right players to do it.
Colorado can do it.
Colorado can do it because they've got McCarr and McKinnon. So, like, that's two options right there. They can do it with speed. Landeskog won't do it as fast, but he can kind of create his own lanes.
Yep.
When Carolina does it, I'm like, boys, that's not your game. You don't have the players for that shit. I'm like, okay, Jarvis can do it. Ehlers can do it. That's about it. Yeah, me too. If he hadn't come to Carolina, I think that he probably would have found his way there if you guys could have made cap.
That would have been sweet, to be honest with you. But the Devils have so many defensemen. Like, they have defensemen in the pipeline. They have, like, Seamus
Ehlers is a forward.
Around. Oh, duh. I'm sorry. I don't know why I mixed that up. Yeah, but yeah, we need a winger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I thought with it. It's just kind of like, it's like there's some teams that can do that. It's just Carolina's not one of them. New Jersey's not one of them. There's very few teams that can pull that play off consistently and get results. In theory, New Jersey should be able to do it with the players that they have. And
they really should. Brad
that's
can
what's
get
weird
through.
to me. Yeah,
Brad can, and also Luke Hughes, to give him credit, if he doesn't drop pass, he can go end to end.
He skates well enough to do it by far.
Yeah, so why not do it? Why not I used to coach my brother's hockey team, right? It was a house league team, whatever. But I would have what I would have done in that situation is make a play where it opens him up to just fly right in. You know what I mean? And it would be pretty easy. He's fast. And he's got good stick handling. I just think he's weighed down by the fact that he's in the shadow of his brother, and every time he goes out there, he's number two every day, and in his head, it's like it gets to you, and it looks like it's getting to his game now. That's what I think is going on.
No, that's a totally valid point. And then, like, another thing I think about when it comes to Luke, he skates well enough where you think that he should be able to defend against just about anybody. Right. I just think that he gets lost in those situations, and he does, like, his brain says one thing and his feet says another. There's like a disconnect there. Yeah, it's like, because he can skate well enough to where he could have good gaps and defend on people better than what he does.
And then his stick's in the wrong spot, and
that's what's weird to me about it. Like, he's got the ability to do it. It's just, I just don't think it's up here. He doesn't know how.
Yeah, it's like he can write it down, but he can't do it.
That's a great way to describe it, because there's times where it's like he's standing there with his feet perfectly still, looking around as if he's like, it's like in Pulp Fiction where Vincent's standing there with a jacket in his hand, going like, that's what I see him doing in the defensive zone a lot of time. I'm like, bro, move your feet. It's your first fucking thing. It's like, if you start doing that, you'll be a lot better off in your own end. It's just weird to me that, like, a player that talented can't figure that out, because he's a good hockey player. I know I rag on him and stuff. It was the same thing. Like, there was one thing I saw earlier.
These are NHL players, of course.
I shared it. I don't know if you saw it, but one of the guys in the NFL, he's a kicker, and he missed a field goal on Sunday, right? And there were people going into his. Yeah, and they went into his comments, and they started saying that they were hoping his wife was cheating on him and would divorce him and all this other shit, all because he missed a field goal. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I know I was ragging on Luke last night, but I would like to think I kept it in good fun. I didn't wish any fucking harm on him or anyone he cared about. There's enough people doing that. I don't need to add to it.
Way too many people. There's a monstrous problem with mentally ill people, and I'm just being. I hope you don't mind. I'm being straight up. I'm gonna say it how it is. These people are mentally ill, and the second you say like this is what happened with Luke Hughes last night. We'll talk about this. Luke Hughes, not literally, but technically he scored 2 goals on his own team, right? So I put up the post saying Luke Hughes scores another one, or something, whatever, and I put the play up, and a couple people retweeted and are calling him like their family. They're like, "This, please delete this. This is my family." They're not kidding. They're dead serious. These people, they like think that they're the family members of. They're nuts. And these aren't people that I've even seen before. They're just random people that came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, all these people with anime profile pictures come out of nowhere and start messaging me threats. This all be. I didn't even say anything bad. This is the second time this has happened where I didn't even I've said bad things before. I can't deny it. I'm an asshole. But the 2 times I've gotten multiple threats from nut jobs, I literally didn't. The other time was with Columbus fans. Dylan got uppercut when he couldn't see, and all I did was write the head, because you know how I put real-time replays. So while the game's on, when a goal is scored, the replay pops up on DevilsJoint within 30 seconds of the goal. That's and then when there's a fight, you'll see the fight. So what happened with Dylan was I forgot who it was, Voronkov, pulled his jersey over his face and then uppercut him twice and knocked him out. So I said, Dylan got surprised because he got surprised from behind and then got knocked out. So you get Dylan surprised from behind and then knocked out. That's what was the headline. Nothing biased. It was exactly what you see in the video. And there, I think I deleted it, but there was like 120 comments of people like just saying the craziest shit that made no sense. I'm like, I didn't even say anything bad. I'm just explaining what happened quickly because I'm getting ready to clip the next thing that happens in the game. I just throw a quick, whatever happened in the video, I just type it real quick. That's it. Like, I didn't even think about what I wrote. And even if you read it, it was harmless. And these people were acting like I killed their brother.
Yeah.
And they come in groups and they come out of nowhere. And it's very, it's kind of weird. It's like, where the fuck did these people even come from? No one's retweeting this they weren't like quote tweeting it. So like, how did they all find my thing? Like, I don't know. It was just, that was a weird situation. You guys don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just.
Oh no, I remember it.
Yeah,
I remember it. So basically, and I've kind of experienced the same things. Like, there's been times I've criticized Brendan Moore, and I got a DM where somebody told me they were going to slit my throat over it. And I'm kind of like,
yeah.
It's like, it's kind of the same dynamic where they like feel the need to like threaten to commit actual violence because we said something critical of someone who they think that they have a relationship with that they don't have, or parasocial, as we like to call it. It's gotten exceptionally bad in the last few years, it looks like. For example, when I flip over to my when I flip over to one of my other accounts, because I've got 2 other accounts. I've got my Adversary Air one, which is where I have my aviation stuff, and my Tomcats hockey one for my beer league team. The moment I flip over there, I normally stay in the following tab. But you know how when you flip over to one of your other accounts, it automatically puts you in the For You tab.
Puts you in the For You, yeah.
The first thing I always see is some Puck Bunny post.
And it's never For You, by the way.
No, it's not. And I'm like, why are they pushing these types of accounts? Like the algorithm, I mean, I don't know if it's just these people are chronically online and they post so much that their stuff gets more visibility. I don't know what it is.
I think the algorithm pushes it.
It's something, dude, because like the first thing I see immediately, you remember that really disgusting picture that involved a certain player being on his knees in front of 2 other players? There was one time I flipped over to my Tomcats hockey account to BG, who's actually in the chat. I was posting something that he made for the team. He made a helmet decal. I went over there to post that, and that was the first thing I saw was that picture or one like it. And I'm kind of like, why in the fuck? Like, why is this a thing? Where are your parents? Like,
yeah. And
If
where
I
are the
posted
parents
shit-
of some of these players?
Yeah, that's
that
a
are
good
18
question.
years old, and they're they have these old women like sexually abusing them on camera. You saw that with Smith and Celebrini?
Yeah, that got talked about a lot.
Yeah, that was weird, man. And you could tell they were very uncomfortable, but they went along with it twice. And it's very creepy, very creepy. It was almost like they were like being brought into like some occult ritual through this woman, like really creepy shit. Sorry
See,
to
that's
interrupt you.
No, you're fine. No, that's one of the things that worries me about all this, though. Like, are the organizations, are the NHL teams, are their front offices actually pushing this shit for the sake of generating clicks and ad revenue? Like that, I have to wonder about those things now because of how often they're happening.
They are. They have to be. And all the admins for these teams are all the same. They're all like a certain person. Like it's almost like the same person as the admin for every X account for every hockey team. They all have. They're talking about Taylor Swift. That kind of shit.
Oh yeah, because hockey fans just totally care about that type of shit.
Yeah, and it's weird. And for the Devils, Dougie Hamilton was they called him admin. Everyone called him admin for a couple of years because I don't even know honestly if he really was behind that the account, but everyone said he was, and they called him admin. All of a sudden he wasn't admin anymore, and we're getting these posts about Harry Styles and Jay Wow was at the game last night. Yay. Like
see, I don't who the hell is Jay Wow?
From fucking Jersey Shore. Exactly.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the name was kind of familiar. And the only reason I know who Harry Styles is because he was actually in one of my favorite movies. He was in Dunkirk. He was in Dunkirk.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. That's the only reason I know who he is.
And, a good movie?
It's a great movie. So to
I'll
go off on
your word.
So to go off of some stuff involving this. So it's set during Dunkirk in World War II. And one of the things I love about it, so Christopher Nolan, if you know Batman movies and Inception and all that, he is all about traditional photography. So like all the scenes involving the aircraft in that movie were all real planes. And what he did with that was the way that they made dogfighting look. It wasn't this high speed, fun looking. It was like slow, sluggish,
like a Top Gun.
Yeah, which don't get me wrong, I love Top Gun, but I'm not going to pretend it's realistic. Yeah. But it's like like there's one point where so there's 3 Spitfires, and they do this little short engagement, and they form back up, and one guy's gone. You never see him get shot down. You don't see him crash. You don't hear him over the radio. Nothing. He's just gone. So it's kind of like what the pilot might experience in that situation. He didn't see it happen. He just knows somebody's gone.
He knows
Yeah, it's just he knows that they're down one and everything like that. And like there's other cool like little technical details in it. Like there's one part where, and I don't know how they fit Tom Hardy into a Spitfire. It's a pretty roomy aircraft, but he's a big dude. And I'm sitting there imagining him in his Bane outfit. I'm like, how in the fuck did they get him into a Spitfire? Because they used real aircraft for this. They didn't actually fly them, but still,
that's tight. That's tight.
Yeah. Because I've sat in a Spitfire before, so like I know how tight of an aircraft it is. Yeah, there's a bunch of aircraft like that I've sat in, but like there's one part where he runs out of fuel, and when you run out of fuel, all the other stuff in the aircraft quits. And there's a part where he's making an emergency landing, and he hand cranks the landing gear down and lands it. And then when he gets out of the aircraft, he takes a flare gun and he shoots it into the cockpit so that it burns the aircraft up, so that the Germans can't get a hold of it. Like a bunch of really cool little technical details in it. But the only reason I ever knew who Harry Styles was is he was in that movie.
Did he play a big part?
Not really. He was like a supporting character of some sort. He was like one of the soldiers on the beach when they were evacuating and everything like that. But it's like it's a really good movie that focused on those sorts of types of aspects, and I really appreciate it for that. But like I had no idea who Tate McRae was until like a year ago, and people were actually physically fucking shaming me for it. I'm like, does this person have any bearing on my life?
Bro, I've never heard of her until the NHL All-Star game. Never heard the name in my life until they had the All-Star game with like Justin Bieber, Tate McRae. You remember that? And,
and what's his name? That comedian Arnott.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, he was one of the celebrity coaches. He was wearing like a big furry coat or something. I don't remember. I don't really watch the All-Star
Who
game anymore.
cares?
It's not.
It's stupid.
When we were
I
kids,
watched
the
that one
All-Star game
because
was all
Jesper
right.
Bratt was in it. That's why,
Yeah.
because I wanted to see Bratt. Yeah, the old All-Star games were amazing.
Yeah, what they've got
go
now,
back and watch classic All-Star and skills competitions, 90s stuff. You know, stuff with Ray
Way better.
Bork in it. You know what I mean? Like if Ray Bork's in it, it's a good one. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
and keep in mind when Al McInnes when Al McInnes and Rob Blake are the guys that are like shooting pucks back then, that was either the really early composite sticks that were still like 500 grams or the old wood ones. That took some power to put some shot shot velocity behind those, because like you can find some of the most inept people at shooting a puck and they can still clock a 65, 70 mile per hour wrist shot because of the sticks. It's not them in a lot of cases.
Right? Yeah, the sticks are made to really support and enhance.
Yeah, it's like the players themselves are not the ones that are generating that power. It's the stick. Now, you still have to know what you're doing.
Al McInnes had power in his body, and he knew how to generate it perfectly to get that shot. Al McInnes is probably the best of all time at the shot from the point, in my opinion.
Yeah, him and Rob Blake were the top two, especially of that era.
Yeah.
Like
Rob Blake, his shot was different because he was like more lanky, so he had that wide. I don't know how to even explain that long shot. Like
he had the wingspan to really wind the stick up. And play
that's basically
with Al McInnes. He was just strong.
Yeah, it was almost like once his stick hit the puck, it was almost like you could see an atom explode. Like it's different. It's just different nowadays. You don't see those kinds of things anymore. It's unfortunate, you know. And I don't like to say, everything in the past was better, and that a lot of things were. Some weren't, of course. Equipment and jerseys and all that stuff are a lot better these days.
I think the rules are generally better now too.
Yeah, they've changed a bunch of things. I don't like it's not because it was about Brodeur, but I don't like
the trapezoid. I hate the trapezoid. I cannot stand it. I hate that rule. It needs to go.
Let the goalies play. Let them play. Let them do what they want to do. If a goalie's good at playing, that's an advantage for the team that has that goalie. That's it.
Well, and all the goalies by that standard, they're all good at playing the puck now anyway. Like once upon a time, in Brodeur's day, nobody played the puck except him, really. Right. Like that was one thing he had on Marty Turco, Patrick Waugh, any of the good goalies you can name from that era.
Eddie Belfour and Hextall.
Hextall could. Yeah. It's like there weren't a whole lot of goalies that played the puck back then. And it's like, so one of the reasons they removed two-line pass was to encourage more high-speed, high-scoring games. Yep. And one of the arguments, and me and my friend Matthew have talked about this, one of the arguments against removing the trapezoid is that the puck would just get played by the goalie every single time that the puck is dumped in. And that would just it would just kill the offense. Here's why I don't agree with that. If the trapezoid is gone and players and teams are forced to have more clean entries, or they are forced to puck retrieve with numbers on fewer dump ins, that's going to create a higher pace, more exciting game, if you ask me.
That people don't think of it that way. They think of it the opposite. That's the problem. They're thinking of it backwards. The way you said it is what really would happen.
Yeah, that's what I think would happen. It's just like it's like that the fact that rule was made to nerf Brodeur aside. I think that like it's just the biggest thing about it for me is the officials have more to keep up with now during a game than they've ever had because of how fast everything is and how good all the players are. One less rule that they have to enforce
for a lot of shit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like anything that you can take off the books that they don't have to worry about, do it. Like it's like for all the criticism officials get, their job is really hard at. And they don't make a lot of money.
Right. I feel bad a lot of the times. I actually put a post up the other night. I don't remember his name. And I did an interview with Tim Peel. And when I was talking to him, privately one time, and he said, I really wish that the refs, because they used to have their names on the back of their, uniform.
Before they switched to the numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like I really wish that was the case, so people would recognize the guys by their names, because they're not really known, like Don Koharski. Some of those guys were known, but nowadays you don't really know who's who or anything like that for the most part, unless you're like super nuts like me, or you don't know like who but they would
Yeah,
be
if I mention who
more,
Kelly Frazier is, most people now are not going to know.
yeah, they probably think he's a player, right? So,
No. Well, I mean, he did play, but like still.
yeah, right, exactly. Active, But the other day, ref got hit with the puck or something like that, and he had to be carried off, and he came back, and I posted a picture of him. I'm like, these guys got to be tough too.
Yeah.
They are tough.
Yeah, and if anybody has ever worn ref pads, or in my case, I've just sold them to people, there's nothing to them. There's just enough
they got nothing.
Yeah, it's almost like they're not wearing anything at all. The officials pads are like when you get hit with something wearing those, you feel it. They've got like some padding. The pants are kind of heavy. They've got the little compression shirts with the pads on it and everything like that. But for the most part, like when an official gets hit with a puck or something, they feel it. So it's like when people are like, "Oh, the ref got in the way of that player or that puck on purpose," and I'm here to tell you, no, the fuck he did not.
No, he didn't. He was trying to move. Exactly.
No, he didn't want to get hit with that shit.
I swear to God, bro. I used to ref. I went through. I wanted to be a ref at one point. So
I'm studying the book right now.
And I got my patch and all that, but I reffed roller hockey like a lot. And I had my ref jersey right here. It's not here, right? I can't, unless I can't see. I was about to pull it out, but yeah, just doing the training and going through the courses that you have to do to become just a local ref to do local games was hard. It was not fun. It was not fun at all.
There's a reason why I'm studying as much as I am before I go to take the test, even though it's an open book test right now, because there's not that many officials right now. And it's like,
really?
It's an USA Hockey. Last I looked, when I first got the book to start studying it, I probably need to make sure I've got the up-to-date version downloaded. But basically, they're doing all open book tests because there's not that many officials, because people don't want to do it. And considering some of the shit that goes on, I kind of don't blame them. So it's like, it's like with me, I'm, when I get done with it, I'm going to start out like everyone else does, doing like U8 games and stuff, or 8U games and stuff like that to, kind of learn it. Like, one of the hardest things about officiating penalties, it's like, okay, you get a second, because if you're like a USA Hockey official, in a lot of cases, like lower level mites hockey, beer league and stuff like that, you're a ref and a linesman at the same time. So it's like when a penalty happens, when someone gets tripped or hooked, or you have a second to say to yourself, okay, did I see what I think I saw? And then you can decide if the arm goes up. When it comes to calling the lines, you don't have that luxury. Like you have to make that decision. Then that is fucking hard sometimes.
Yeah. And a lot of times you get it wrong.
Yeah. It's just it's a human error thing. Yeah, it really is. It's just like that. That's why it's like, as mad as I get at the officials, I mean, I know I can't do their job, and it's just there's a lot of misconceptions about like people. The biggest one is like we were talking about before, people thinking that officials get in the way on purpose. No, they do not. Like
that would be so stupid. Unless there's like what's the word when you like to hurt yourself
sadist or whatever, or
masochist. Unless you're a masochist,
yeah. Wow. Nobody does that on purpose, and most of those guys, pretty much all of them, played some sort of hockey, like some sort of high level stuff. It's like Wes McCauley was teammates with Rob Brindamore at Michigan State, so like he actually played. Now, is he kind of on the other side of the hill? Is he as good of an official as he used to be? No. But like it happens to everybody. It's like it's the same. So my dad talks to the officials in the SPHL a lot because he's an off-ice official. He usually works the away penalty box door.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's like there will be times like during the TV timeouts, the officials will come over there and he'll hand them, water and everything like that. And, there's one of them he really likes. I can't remember his name. He comes over there and he says, well, I guess I'm doing my job correctly tonight. And he's like, why? He's like, well, both teams are bitching at me, so I know I'm doing something right.
Yeah. If they're both mad at you, you definitely are doing your job. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how much this happens in the NHL, but there's a lot of times, and I've seen this happen firsthand. If someone, because so in the SPHL, there's times where it's only a 12-team league, or I think it's 10 right now, and there's a lot of times where teams will play each other. It's part of the same thing, like why the ECHL went on strike. Yeah, correct. Yeah, the Southern Professional Hockey League. Yeah, there will be
professional.
Yeah, there will be times where there will be times where like teams have played each other 4 or 5 times in a row during the regular season. And what they'll do at the beginning of a game, they'll call the most ticky-tack shit they can, one on each. And then after they call the second penalty, they'll skate by the bench and they'll tell them both of you, chill the fuck out now. Like they get a handle on it early. They try to. So it's like, I've actually seen them do that where they call it's literally the biggest form of game management. And they'll go by both benches and they'll be like, okay, you understand? You get what the standard is tonight? Okay, cool. Like, and I like that because at least from the beginning, like that.
If the
okay,
NHL
we know the
would
standard.
do that, right? That would be great.
Yeah, I wish they would. I don't think you can get away.
Playoffs.
I don't think you get away with it in the NHL though because of the visibility on it. It's like,
Yeah,
me being a lifelong fan of the SPHL, which is how I got into hockey really anyway. It's like, I notice things like that. Anybody who doesn't regularly go to games like that, they don't see the official call of penalty, skate right over to the bench and, lay down the law to both benches.
Right.
That be that.
Yeah, and you don't see that in the NHL. If you go to the games, you're not seeing that at all anyway. So, I unfortunately for me, I don't have local hockey teams like any leagues local to me. So I don't get to see any games like that. It's the Islanders are the closest to me, and then the Rangers and Devils. There's no teams from any other league that are like AHL is the closest would be Hartford.
Syracuse.
Syracuse is further than Hartford.
Syracuse is further. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's a pain in the ass.
How far are you from Albany?
I'm 8-9 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. See, I kind of have that's the deceptive thing about maps.
It might be like 7 or 6 hours. It might be. I'm not sure.
That's the deceptive things about maps because when you look at really populated areas like that, it's a little bit more deceptive than like if I look at, say, the area of the country I live in. It looks like, okay, from Fayetteville to Charleston is a 4-hour drive roughly. And it looks like that on a map. I look at a map of that area of New York and New Jersey and Connecticut and New England. It looks like it's
very small.
It looks like you could walk in between each of them.
Yeah. That specific area where Connecticut, all that meets, it looks like New Haven. It looks like you could just it's like a one stop on the train, but it's not. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't go to any of these places right now, especially New York City. Please stay away.
Oh God, no.
For your own safety, my friends. Do not go to New York City on vacation. It's not going to be a vacation, believe me.
No,
I don't live in the city right now, but it doesn't matter. I live in New York. I'm close to the city, and I know people who live in the city. My family's there. It's a bad situation right now. It's getting worse by the day, too. Actually, crime went down in New York City, the largest drop in crime in New York City in history in the last year, because we don't need to talk about why, but also in D.C., the largest drop in not only murders, but just crime in general in the last year. So that's really cool. Oh, by the way, I forgot about the packs of cards that I have.
Oh yeah. So any of you guys watching, we're gonna do some card opening here because this is like his favorite thing to do. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. So if I get any Canes, I said that no matter what card it is, if it's a good card, whatever, I will give it away. If any Canes fans that see this want it, I will give the Canes cards away. Because I'm a nice man and I'm generous. No, but I love opening cards, and we are on the warning take. So the Canes cards go to the Canes fans tonight.
That sounds good to me, brother. Thank you so much.
Let's see what we got. It starts off with Ovechkin. This is O-Pee-Chee Platinum, by the way, from 21-22 O-Pee-Chee Platinum.
We sell those in the store that I work at, the O-Pee-Chee ones.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. So we start off with Ovechkin, and then we go to a PK Subban.
Oh, wow.
And then we got Brock Nelson. Vasilevsky. Oh, that was 2 cards. I got a rookie here, but it's not the best. It's not the best especially because it's a Ranger. Nils Lundqvist rookie, which I think I have like 4 of those. You ever heard of Robin Salo? Holy shit.
Is he related to Sammy Salo?
I hope so. Wait. Oh, man, the cards are stuck together. I thought I had an error card. I just got an error card the other day. I got a Wyatt Johnston card. I don't know if you saw it online. And it
I saw.
It says WHL instead of NHL on the card. And I've been reaching out to Upper Deck like, hey, you got a big error. That's a big error. And I want to know how many of those cards were printed because it might be worth money then. You know.
Mhm.
Anyway, this guy's name is Robin Salo from the Islanders. Never heard of him, but Salo is a name the Islanders fans should remember.
Yes.
Cole Sillinger rookie. That's a good one. Check this out, though. This is what I happened to catch. Let me see. This is a Violet Pixels Quinn Hughes. Check that shit out. This is a good
That's
card.
cool.
I wonder what this is worth. What you could do is I'll pull up eBay,
Mhm.
and you could go directly to this thing where you could just scan the card in your hand, literally, and it'll tell you what it's going for. So let's see if this is worth anything. This Quinn Hughes one, because it looks like it is. Let's see what it's selling for. Violet Pixels. Is it numbered? Hold on. Let me see if it's numbered. It is not numbered. That sucks. This one. Okay. That's worth, if the last sale was $3.25. Okay, I thought I was doing good there. All right, I got a photo driven Alexei Lafreniere. This is an insert card, probably worth a couple bucks. These O-Pee-Chee Platinum cards stick together, but I love them. We got Sergei Babo. Two more
The
coming
trauma
up.
that I feel every time I hear that name.
Ooh, Ryan O'Reilly, who, you know what? Did you hear him speak about his career this season when he was like, I've only had one good season in my career? Did you hear
I
him
hate
say
that he
that?
feels that way about it because like he's got a Stanley
Yeah.
Cup and a Conn Smythe. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad when
he's
he
a
said
good
that.
player.
You could see it in his face that he was upset, like, and Barzal is the last one in that pack, by the way.
I've got one of his pro stock sticks.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
That's
I've got
awesome.
one of his ripcord trigger. I'm trying to sell it because I'm not going to use it because I don't like low kicks.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, mid kick all day.
Where are you trying to sell it at?
It's on Sideline Swap. It's like I'm going to sell it to, like, I don't know if anybody wants to keep it for a memento, fine. If they want to play with it, fine. I don't like low kicks as it is. If I have to use a low kick, the only one I would use is the Vapor Flylight. Like the other ones they're just too low. Back in the day, the Vapor 1X and the Vapor APX and APX 2 sticks were some of my favorites. That's the last time I really used low kicks a whole lot.
What is this? Did I pull this out last time? This is a Bauer Vapor.
That's a X40, ain't it?
X40. Yep.
X40. I had one of those. That's how I knew what that was. When I saw the pattern on it with the blue, I knew exactly what that was.
And when you said if you want to play with it or keep it, that's like, I think I did this on the stream last time, but I have these two
the Mogilny ones.
The two Mogilnys that I played with one of them for years, and the other one is still in Mogilny mint. You know, Mogilny is my favorite player of all time.
Yeah, no, those are just amazing. The one of my other favorite ones, I got one of the old Winter Classic Edition Bauer Total 1 NXGs. I used it one time, and I never used it again because I didn't want to break it.
This
TPS
Scott
response?
Gomez. Yep. I think it's a response, right? Yeah.
Probably an R10.
Yep. XM10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, Nico and Gino are here. You want to see
Hey,
Nico?
puppies.
Let's pull him on.
Yeah, bring him on.
Gino's going to get pissed.
Oh, hey,
There
buddy. Hey, pal. You're in good hands there, buddy. God, he's such an adorable dog.
Nico. He's a very good-looking guy. Yeah, he's handsome.
God, he's a beautiful dog. Oh, he loves you already.
Yeah. Handsome?
I love that you can put clothes on your dog because my big dog won't go for it. Like,
yeah.
the little one, he doesn't have a choice.
He's so cold. He gets so cold. Like, first of all, this dog was definitely never outside in his life, probably. So the second, he came out in the winter, he started shaking, so I got some jackets for, I'm not big into putting clothes on my animals, but when it's cold, like Gino loves his little cozy sweater that he's wearing. It says cozy on it. It's a little blue sweater. He loves it, so I'm not going to take it away from him if he likes it. And I think he's never had anything. So anything you give this dog, he's appreciative of. To any toy, if you throw something, he'll chase it. What are you barking at? Say hi to in the mic. You want to
Hey,
growl?
buddy.
Go ahead.
Hi, Nico.
Go ahead. He loves it when he goes in the car. I don't know if you saw. He goes right on the steering wheel like he's driving.
Yeah, he does the paws up thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's laying back on my chest, like he just chills. Like
He's got the weight of the world lifted off his shoulders.
All right, go with Gino. Whoa, don't get caught. Don't get caught.
Oh,
they saw something outside.
I'm glad that you. I'm glad you got a hold of him before something bad happened to him.
Yeah, I mean, imagine something bad happened to that dog. How you look at him? I mean,
yeah, I don't see how people can be mean to animals. I don't get that. I've always liked animals more than I like people anyway, but still, I don't understand how you can be mean to an animal.
They're loyal. Yeah,
they are.
You know, I've had to be mean to him. You know, he ran out the front door twice, so he ran out, and I caught. Luckily, he went into my neighbor's fence, like inside her yard, and he ran out, and I grabbed him by that exact sweater he's wearing. I pulled him up. Of course, I wouldn't hurt him, but he had to know he can't open the door because the door opened and he ran out. So what I did was, you got to let them know it was bad. So without hit, especially him, without giving them any sort of hit at all, because some people like smack the dog on the butt. I don't even want to do that, because you could tell he's been hit just from. If you're walking and he's behind you and you turn around, he will immediately like jump back, so he's been, what are you guys barking at? He's been hit, and also if you bend down to pet him, he'll at first, not anymore, he's learning, but at first if you went just to pet him, he would roll on his back and put his paws and in protective mode. What are you guys barking at? You just barking at nothing? Okay.
Yeah, my little one barks quite a bit. My big one almost never barks. He's pretty quiet. He does a little whimper, whiny singing thing sometimes, but the little one barks. The big one, he's like that most of the time, really, unless I say words like TREAT or OUTSI, or his favorite one, CARRIDE. That's that one's favorite.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't say that even just the first three letters of that one.
Yeah, I'm glad both your dogs like to ride in the car. That's one of the funnest things, having your dog in the car with you.
They love it, and they both want to be. Now, Gino's has his for, almost 3 years, has been on my left leg when I'm driving, almost everywhere I've went. Now that Nico's here, Nico, like if Gino goes in the back, Nico will come up, and he's much lighter, so it's not Gino's puts a little weight on me, you know what I mean? But but I don't care. It's Gino, But when it's so funny because he's so small, so he fits perfectly and right between me and the door. Like if I open the door, he would fall right out. But he puts his paw right up on the side, and they both open the fucking windows. I
had to put the child locks on in my old truck because Frank figured out how to roll the window down.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also the mirrors. Gino likes to flip them fucking mirror thing and start pushing the mirrors and changing the, So that it's fun to have him in the car though. You're right. I never even thought of it like that. But yeah. And the words you gotta spell
everywhere I can.
Yeah, it's fun. I stop. I always stop at 7-Eleven before I come home. Because I grab a drink or something like that. And I always take Gino out at 7-Eleven. I let him. He likes to walk the park because they have the side has a bunch of trees and stuff. So he likes to walk and go pee over there. So that's one of his things that we do is go to 7-Eleven and I'll go in, come out, then he'll come out and we'll walk and go take a walk in the 7-Eleven parking lot after he spent 2.5 hours at the dog PARK. I almost said it. If I can't say that word either.
Yeah, because they'll be like, "Oh, we're going." No, a little bit late for that, pal.
And Nico already knows it. He knows.
Yeah, but I'm just happy to see he's able to go and run and play with other dogs and stuff, because I know you were worried that he wasn't going to be able to socialize with other dogs and
I was
everything like that.
Worried. Because at first it looked like he was going to be scared of anything. He's scared of any sound. He's got a very delicate his hearing is very good. So you'll hear him whoof, he hears things that Gino doesn't hear. Obviously dogs have a million times better hearing than us, but Gino doesn't hear the things that he hears. So I'm surprised how healthy he is. I'm just so grateful that doesn't have any sort of illness or disease or,
I was worried that, like, especially when you're talking about him being locked in that crate like that, I was worried he was going to have worms or something like that more than anything.
That was a big issue in my head, at first. I was almost sure that he would have something like that, but no parasites, no fleas. I would have expected fleas. When you saw this dog was a literal flea bag when I grabbed him, and the situation that I was put in to get him was dangerous. What do you?
Oh, somebody somewhere in the northeastern United States made a noise, and now they're
they're
letting them know.
Merlin. There's a dog named Merlin, and I forgot the other dog's name. They wear neon collars, and they're across the street right now. See, Nico he's not even at the window. He's just doing his little woof from the bed. Can you hear the Nico in the background?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Well, one more, Nico. There you go. But Gino's actually looking at them. Yeah. There he is.
Nico's just providing moral support.
Yeah, he's lame. He has no idea what's out there. He's not even looking.
There was one time we were at Mellow Mushroom, and across the way from us, this was when we were still in Virginia, there was another restaurant over there. I can't remember the name of it, but we both had outdoor areas where people could bring their dogs, so we had both of our dogs with us. And Butters, our little Chihuahua, he sees that other dog over there and he starts barking, just going off on it. And Chihuahua then my big barking. Dog, yeah, Chihuahua barking. And my big dog, like, you could almost see him do this with his face. He goes, okay, fine, I guess. And then he starts barking too.
Right. And I guess I got to do it.
It was like the fucking Hatfields and McCoys trading shots back and forth across the. It was hilarious.
But barks, yeah.
Yeah, it was just. I was like, guys, I mean, I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but go ahead, have at it. But they were just sitting there, just letting those other dogs know, hey, we're here, and the other dogs continued to reply to them like, hey, we're here.
I feel like they're talking to each other. It's
amazing how they communicate. It's fun to watch.
That's why I love going to the DOG PARK with them, because they have friends that recognize our cars. They recognize each other's the cars that they're coming in and everything. So they get a lot of like just natural training by going to a place like that with other dogs, and also they make friends. So I forgot the point I was going at with that, but just bringing them to that place helps with a lot of things. Like they watch other dogs, and it teaches them, certain things that they might not have. So Gino's calmed down a lot since I've been bringing him there more. He's, he doesn't bark. He won't bark at me if he wants something. Like he used to do that. He won't do that anymore. I don't know, things like that.
Yeah, no, they definitely like learn behaviors off of each other, because like, it's like my big one. He, I've watched him do that in real time where one of the things I would have loved to have gotten on video. There was one time when I was at the first apartment I was at when I first got him. He was in the park playing with a bunch of other dogs, and they were all fighting over this one green ball. And one dog picked it up, this black Labrador, and ran away with it. Frank caught up to this dog, and it was almost like he checked him to separate him from the puck type of thing. He got right alongside him, and he went like this, and he hit him into the fence and then made him drop the ball. He picked it up and took it back the other way. I'm like, maybe I don't need to let my dog watch so much hockey with me, because it's like he's taking
it's a takeaway.
Yeah, it's like, huh, I can do that, but like differently. But it was just like he just bam, he laid a hit on this other dog, made him drop the ball, grabbed the ball, and ran the other way with it. I'm like, if only, I mean, this was back in like 2018. I'm like, wow, if only the Hurricanes could figure out how to do that. And I was like, because I was sitting there, I'm like, maybe I should have videoed that and sent that to them and be like, hey, this was before Brendan Moore was coaching them and they were a complete dumpster fire. And I was like, maybe we could try doing this. Like, if my dog can do it, can y'all do it? Like,
can you sign this dog, please?
Yeah, sign Frank. No, I've always thought of Frank, if he were a hockey player, he'd be one of those little puck moving defensemen that's like 5'8". That's what I think he would be.
Like a Quinn Hughes?
Yeah, something like that, or maybe more like one of my favorite nicknames that I had for him. Well, there were two of them. I actually used to call him Doggy Hamilton at one point. That was one of my nicknames for him, and Tony Dogangelo, because I always thought of him
I
as a
like that
puck moving defenseman. And then now he's Shane Dog Despair.
And I love Tony D'Angelo for the record.
Tony D'Angelo's my boy. Yeah, it's like that's why it's like when people like I can't count the number of people who have like, how the fuck do you like that guy? I'm like, how do you not? He's fucking awesome.
He's the best. He's such a good guy.
Yeah, I see. I've never met him, but I know people who did, and like the reputation that people have given him just annoys the shit out of me.
It's unbelievable. He is generous. First of all, he's nice. He's good with. He's great with fans. I'm talking about fans with with children, like young kids. When he was with the Islanders over here, the Islanders fans fell in love with him. You might have heard the opposite, but let's open one of these promo packs. This is 2025 National Hockey Card Day promo pack. In these packs, there are very rarely a Macklin Celebrini or Will Smith Victory rookie card, which are very rare. I have one. I did get one. But let's see what we pull out of this pack here. We got Legends on the Ice, Nicholas Lidstrom.
That's a cool one.
Hockey Superstars, Artemi Panarin.
I like the two-tone thing they do there with the grayscale and then the full color. That looks cool on that card.
And these rookie cards are rare because they're these promo sets, right? So Cutter Gauthier, prominent rookie. This is a great card. It might not be worth anything right now, but if I hold on to this, keep it mint, I guarantee it will be. And I have a couple of these. If anyone wants this Cutter rookie, let me know. I'll send it to you. Mark Messier, Legends on Ice. I'll get rid of him. Connor Bedard, Hockey Superstars, last one. Last year was Connor Bedard. You were looking for the Connor Bedard rookie card, and then the 2024. Now you want the Celebrini and the Will Smith, but mostly Celebrini.
Speaking of Bedard, that's someone who I didn't think I was going to like at first, and he's really grown on me.
I love him.
He has grown on me so much. I really like him now.
I didn't like him at first at all.
I didn't either, but now I'm like, you know what? I like the kid now. He's got some fire to him. I like it.
But I'm going to tell you whose jersey I'm actually going to get. And that's something if I'm going to spring for another team's jersey with a player's name on it, that's crazy. And I've made the decision. Can you take a guess? Think about where I live and a player that I might want to support, even though he's not on my Devils. It's a very hard question. I'll just tell you, Matthew Schaefer. I'm definitely getting a Schaefer.
I almost wanted to say Schaefer. I came very close to saying that.
I love him.
I've never seen someone skate as well as he does. It's like he's not even trying. It's just effortless. Like the edge work is.
It's unbelievable. I can't wait tomorrow night. I'm gonna go. I can't wait to watch him skate. Unbelievable. Hopefully I'm gonna get him to sign my newspaper because he scored that game tying goal and then the overtime goal. So our local paper, where'd I put it? I probably put it away somewhere. Our local paper had a really great article called something kid or whatever, and it's just a really. I want him to sign the newspaper.
I saw the post you made of it. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Okay. So yeah. I want him to sign that, and I have an opportunity. I can't really. I might be able to meet him tomorrow night and get him to sign it. That would be cool. So, yeah. So if I do, I'll obviously be posting it. I'm not gonna hide that. I could actually. What happened was, I don't know if people probably aren't aware that I'm like pretty I wouldn't say we're close friends, but I'm very good friends with Don LaGreca, and a lot of Devils fans have really been shitting on him lately, and he makes mistakes here and there, but he's been a fan for so long. It's almost like he's just giddy to be doing the Devils after doing calling the Rangers for 15 years, and he moved from radio to TV, which is a big jump. And people are not, they're not giving him any credit. Like the guy made put a pitchfork in this one. It's a great line. Like it sounds great. Calls great goals, but they want this cuck motherfucker Bill Spalding, who was who was basically a placeholder they had before, who was obsessed with cold brew coffee. That's all you know about the guy. He also lied to me, Bill Spalding, by the way. You know how I've interviewed like millions of people, Devils players and broadcasters and stuff. The only one who's ever lied to me was Bill Spalding. He said that he had to get permission from MSG to do this or whatever, and of course, I just did like 4 different interviews with people who work at for MSG who were just like, yeah, sure, of course, and they did it. It was he's lied, and then when I went to go meet him, he wouldn't come. He didn't even come around like the thing. Like he stayed behind his little barricade. He was like really stuck up piece of
I could see that.
Nice.
Did you ever meet Kanji?
Oh yeah, of course.
I was gonna say, because I love the way he called games. Absolutely loved it.
Scar.
Yeah, no, I loved his calls. Very good.
I think I just like within the last 4 days, I posted I made a video to post as a response to someone with his almost like a headshot of his, and with the audio of him calling one goal, just going Scar. And I think I put the words on it because that's what I'm saying. People are like, I miss Bill Spalding. What about Cangelosi? He was the good one.
I liked Kanji a lot.
And he can call any sport, Cangelosi. He's doing soccer. He's doing lacrosse, and he's good at it.
And he had some big shoes to fill too, considering who he replaced.
Doc and Chico.
Yeah, he replaced Doc Emmerich, and that's like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same thing that I deal with the Canes fans. It's like, so John Forsland was like Doc Emmerich for the Hurricanes. I don't know if you saw like me like flip out the way that I did when he followed me back on X.
Yes,
like that was like
it's a big deal for you. Yeah,
never in a million years that I would ever think that John Forsland would have any reason to care about anything that I have to say or post. And that was just one of those things where I'm kind of like, all right, I got something good going here. But like Mike Maniscalco, who ultimately replaced him, who had no play-by-play experience as far as I know. John Forsland had been calling games on the radio for the Springfield Indians back in the day. I remember he elaborated one time, I believe it was in an article that I read, that he was calling a game for the Springfield Indians that nobody was hearing because Desert Storm started that night and the radio was completely taken over by news about that. So like the first night of the invasion. But he was calling the game and nobody heard it. And it was like, but I remember he had that, and he commentated for the Whalers. He moved with the team to Carolina.
The Whalers first, yeah.
Yeah, he called the last Whalers game. Yeah. And so he had some experience doing play-by-play stuff. Mike Maniscalco, as far as I know, had none. He just kind of got told, it's just like, here, this is your job now.
He's got a good name.
He's got a great name. His name is really cool, and he's got a great personality too. And I'm like, it's like, that's a very difficult job to just up and do like he has, and he's gotten much better at it. And one thing that I would like for the fans to consider, the view that we have when we're watching on TV is not what they have. They see it from above, like the 200 or 300 seating. Excuse me, 200 or 300 seating. It's hard for them to. It's hard to tell players apart there, and they still manage to do it.
Let me give you a great example of what you just said. Just 2 days ago, Don LaGreca, he's probably not going to watch this, but Don, if you do hear this, I hope you don't mind me talking about it. He messaged me and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna take your advice and just ignore these comments and stuff because people are saying a lot of stuff." And then he said, because Gritsu scored and he's number 81, and he said Hughes, but his angle of what he saw was the 8 on the jersey. And he explained it to me, and I could see exactly what he thought. And they look similar because they're both like kind of small and like skin, so it looked like Jack Hughes. It did. And he was out there with guys Jack Hughes usually out there with. So he made a little mistake, and he really was hard on himself over it. And then he's got these idiot fans, saying like get rid of this guy, blah, blah, blah. Bill Spalding. I tell everyone when they say I miss Bill Spalding, I said, luckily DevilsJoint exists because you can go back 4 or 5 years to when he started his first game with the Devils to his last. I have every one of them with all the goal scores and plays. And you could go through his first season, because once they started talking shit, I went and looked myself. And Bill Spaulding made way many more mistakes than LaGreca is making. He was making mistakes left and right. But, no one's going to, some people are like, well, that was in the past. Well, then why are you saying, you want him back then? Like, why don't you give Don a chance? Like, this is a guy who's a Devils fan since the Devils came to New Jersey, had to work for the Rangers because he got the offer. Why wouldn't you take it?
You can't turn that down. You don't get that opportunity again.
Right, exactly. And he told me that. He said one of his friends was like, bro, you got, like, even though it's the Rangers, that's your foot in the door. Like, you got to do it.
It's the same thing. It's like if any of us got drafted, if I got drafted to play for the Devils or the Rangers, I'm going to play my ass off. It's kind of the same thing.
So many people. I mean, every player has a favorite team, right? So what's the chances? It's very, very small chance you're going to get drafted by your favorite team. It's very, it happens sometimes, but very, very rare, very rare. And you got to become a fan of your team. And at that point, and your whole family does, which I find that funny actually, when you got like a whole family, like for instance, Tyler Toffoli, his family, I saw the pictures of them all with their Kings stuff, and then like a picture, and they're all in Calgary, and then they're all in the Devils stuff, and it's all in like a really short span of time. They kept their whole family changed everything, the jerseys and their names, but they make all their clothes with the jackets, and it's funny to me. I don't know.
It is funny. It's just kind of like if an NHL team believes in you enough to hire you, whether it's they draft you to be a player in their organization, or like you're talking about with Don, like they hire you to do like commentary stuff or anything like that. At that point, like you should just be grateful for the opportunity, and doesn't matter where it comes from. So It's like I totally understand that mentality of like, but it's like, but now he gets to call games for the Devils that he's a fan of. And, like that, that's really cool. But I think LaGreca does a pretty good job.
Yeah, you could hear that he's a fan when he's, and also people they're not taking into account the fact that when he's not doing the play-by-play, when, they're in the intermission sometimes, or post or pregame, if you listen to him, he's smart. He knows what he's talking about. His points are relevant. He's not just spitting word salad. He literally makes the game better, so I'll defend him to the death. I love the guy. I love Don LaGreca. Love him.
No, I'm the same way about it too. And then you also talk about transitioning from radio to TV. People don't understand.
Yep.
There's a completely different way you call a game on the radio versus how you do it on TV. Like with me, it doesn't bother me so much because the Hurricanes do the same thing that the Sabres do with the simulcast. So I just hear the audio that they use for TV, which I believe the Sabres were the first ones that did that.
Yeah.
So when I would listen to it is, I think so too. When I first started using or listening to it on the radio, or when they first started doing the simulcast, because I was used to Chuck Caton before the Hurricanes let him go. It was okay for me to hear John and Tripp calling a game on the radio from the TV broadcast, because I could kind of visualize what was going on, because I watched them.
Because you're used to watching
so
and hearing them. Yeah, right.
And it was the same thing like with Mike and Tripp calling the games. I've seen them do it on TV so much so when I do listen to them on the radio, because sometimes that's what I have to do. Like when I'm driving home from work, I usually listen to a period's worth of hockey on the way home. So there's that. It's easy for me to visualize because of that. But now if you're talking about calling a game differently on the radio versus how you call it on TV, there's the visual reference that the viewer has that can supplement what you're saying. When you're just someone who calls it strictly on the radio, you basically have to paint a picture of what's going on for the listener.
And with hockey, how hard is that? I mean, that's the hardest thing.
That's incredibly hard.
Maybe soccer could be similar, but not really, because in soccer, if you pass the ball, like there's so much time just in that pass that it's easier to read like what player that is and stuff like that. Hockey's just
hockey, you don't have that time.
Yeah, there's not time. So a lot of the guys, anyone who's a professional play-by-play for hockey in general, doesn't matter what league it is, they're good, and they could probably go and call other sports easily. Like, I think if you start with hockey, you could probably do all the other sports easily. If you
that's same thing with Gary Thorne.
them.
He called hockey and baseball both.
Yep.
Excellent at both of them.
And
He's one of the best that's ever done it.
Yep. I love Gary Thorne.
One of my other favorite multi-sport commentators by far is Alex Faust, because he does hockey and baseball. He's really good.
I'm surprised. I didn't know. That's funny you said his name, because I didn't think a lot of people. I don't even think people know who he is.
He's great.
He's
one of the best
Alex Faust, but I've never.
Him and Jim Fox were like the perfect combination on the Kings broadcast back in the day.
Yeah, I always used to watch, because I'm a, how do I say this without getting in trouble on the Ute? I used to get games not the right way. I'm the Somali way, and so I like to watch those games, and so I listen to a lot of those guys. Back in the day, I was scared shit to watch those games, and I thought the fucking FBI was coming after me and shit.
I was gonna say, if they got time to do that, they've got bigger fish to fry, I would hope.
Yeah, but my mother rubbed it in my head, she scared me.
Oh, but dude, my parents were the same way. They thought that constantly every little thing you did wrong was going to be under the microscope of the law. They're the reason that our generation thought that once you owned the mattress, you couldn't remove the tag from it. It says do not remove under penalty of law, and that tag would stay on that mattress for the duration of the time that you had the mattress.
Tag is the last thing that goes. The mattress will be gone. It's all springs, but the tag will still be there.
The tag's still there because people are seriously afraid. If I take this tag off, it's going to be Delta Force is going to bust through the fucking roof and fucking shoot you in black bag.
What am I saying? Knock at the door? No, they're going to break through your roof. Nathan McKinnon, hockey superstars. Prominent rookies. Here we go, guys. This is a Hurricane rookie card. He's on a different team at this time, but it's a Kane card. It's a Kane player. Stank.
Oh, Stank. Okay.
Stank rookie. So find a guy who wants that card and you can have it. Mark Messier. We already saw that one. Jason
Take a picture of it and I'll do a post of it. Future Hurricane, perfect. I hope.
Ooh. Lane Hudson rookie. I love rookie cards. I love rookie cards. I don't even care if it's players that actually, if you look players that have only played 8 games in the NHL, some of their rookie cards are worth couple $100. It's very odd because they're depending on what card it is, it's the market's very odd with rookie cards. So I love rookie cards. And this Lane Hudson one is the only one I don't have from this set. So yeah, Stankoven card. I'll send you a picture and you do it like that. Perfect. Yeah. If you send me a picture of it, and I'll post it and see who wants it, because I have quite a many Stankoven lovers in my following, and I like him too. So it's but yeah, and then there was something else I was going to talk about. I'm trying to remember. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh no, dude, you're good. When the Hurricanes were bad, one of the teams I watched the most was the Canucks, and that's why I really started liking John Shorthouse and John Garrett. I thought they were really good.
I didn't watch a lot of them, and I don't remember the name. But do you remember the names of the guys who were calling the Sharks in the mid 2010s?
Was that before Randy Hahn, or I thought he was already doing it for them? Because Randy Hahn's good.
Yeah, Randy Hahn's great. I think it was. Yeah, it's got to be before Randy Hahn. That's what I'm talking about. Those guys, whoever was before Randy Hahn, was also good. Because like you said with the Canucks, I was a Sharks. I like to watch the Sharks games, so I Somalied the Sharks games a lot. I loved watching, and I watched the Kings games. I don't know why. I'm not a big fan of California at all. Hate it actually. But I like the Kings and the Sharks. I'm not a Sharks fan, not a Kings fan, but the Sharks went on a 20-year run with won the cup almost any one of those seasons, and it's really sad that they didn't. It really is.
I felt really bad for Burns not getting one. Burns not getting one really sucked. That's why I was hoping we could get it done for him in Carolina. He might win one now, though.
Yeah, he's close now, right? Like I was just about to
Yeah,
say,
he might.
he moved again, and he's in the right spot. Looks like at the moment.
If
What's
Carolina
really
doesn't win, I want Colorado to.
man, you got as a Devils fan, you want to shoot and I don't want to say that out loud, but you want to just wrap barbed wire around your neck when you see two Devils goalies playing in Colorado, just killing it and destroying.
Yeah.
These are the guys Devils tossed. This is the problem with the Devils. Like they don't give guys chances. They treated Blackwood like shit. Like
I remember that. Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Sure. Treated Blackwood like shit. Wedgwood is a 2-time Devils goalie. He was good. Obviously, he's a good goalie. I picked him on my fantasy team this year. It was one of my top picks, actually, because I knew that he would be good and he's going to have a good season. And look, they got Wedgwood and Wedgwood and Scott Wedgwood and Wedgwood.
You just created like the greatest goalie ever. Wedgwood.
Yeah, exactly. And now they have this. That's the tandem I want on the Devils, not Allen and Markstrom. I want the Woods.
See, like the Markstrom trade made sense to me at the time for you guys, but now it looks like it might just not be aging well.
Well, the problem is he got hurt in the beginning of the season this year, and then they gave him an extension while he was injured for 2 years. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What happens to Nico Dawes? Nico Dawes, first of all, people don't understand this for some reason. He played the Stadium Series game, Nico Dawes, and he against the Flyers, and the Devils and the Flyers were both not the best teams at that time, so it wasn't like it was wasn't a fair fight. It was an even matchup. Nico Dawes played that game. That's a lot of pressure for like a goalie like that who isn't full-time NHL to go and play that game, and win it. That's a big time. And then just like last season, he played, I think 6 or 8 games, and he was like 5-1, or he had like 2 losses and mostly wins. All his numbers were great. Why would they got to trade him? Like, you either ruin the guy's career by just keeping him in the minors until he's too old, right? Because you keep signing these 36-year-old goalies, 2 36-year-old goalies were signed to multi-year contracts. I'm like, I can't even say that without laughing because it's like it's a joke. And then you see then you see Colorado with our goalies, and they're the best. And you knew it. Like fans knew these guys were good. Don't let them go. Sorry.
Yeah, that's. Oh no, I understand the concern with stuff like that because I'm sitting here waiting on pins and needles for the Hurricanes to get Bussy extended because even if he wasn't playing as well as he is right now, Frederik Andersen is probably done, at least in Carolina. Kochekov is hurt and out until next season.
I love him.
I do too. You have to fill that gap in any way you can, and Bussy's giving you a really good option.
Double B is pretty solid, yeah. I call him Double B.
Yeah, Double B. That's a good name for him. But it's like it's like I did a short about him last night, and I'm trying to remember his numbers off the top of my head. I think it's 6.25 goals saved above expected, 8.72 high danger save percentage, which is the highest in the NHL, 906 normal save percentage, and a 2.25 goals against average. And the only reason his standard metrics are bad was because Carolina totally fucked him on January 1st with the way that they played in front of him.
Oh,
I was at that game. I actually decided at the last minute to go because it was my birthday. So I drove up at like noon and I met up with AB and Griff and all those guys, and I actually watched that game. And I was like, it's a pretty bad day for the Hurricanes if they score 5 goals and still lose, because that's not normally what they do. Yeah, because they don't score much. As you saw last night, we had to get Luke Hughes to help us to, be able to win that game. It was like they don't score.
The Devils can't score either, so it was a perfect matchup because the teams are in like almost in the same positions at last night. Like two teams that are struggling to score went against each other, and then ironically, like they score on their own. Luke Hughes.
See, that's one thing though that I have to say about Jack Hughes. You guys, your scoring problems typically go away when he's in there, and it just didn't happen last night.
Listen, Jack Hughes was invisible last night. I don't want him on the team when he's still injured. Sorry.
I don't blame you.
First of all, he himself wants to play for Team USA. He doesn't give a fuck about the Devils when it comes to the Olympics, okay? No one, I mean, everyone can deny it, but if you deny it, you'd be lying. He's not going to risk hurting his hand further in the NHL to miss the Olympics. Not going to happen. So while he's on the ice, if you watched him last night, he stays away from the play. He's trying to not be touched at all. The only assist he's had since he's been back was a shot that he took at Nico Heishier's body and went off Nico Heishier's body and into the net. It was like a 3 foot wide shot from like 4 feet in front of the net. So
And
it
went
like
off Heishier and went in.
yeah, and Bratt obviously as usual set that play up, and people still start. Jesper Bratt has been leading the Devils. While all these players are always injured, he's always been there and been the guy. This one time he was a little. He didn't score a lot while Jack Hughes was injured, and all of a sudden he's a pariah or not pariah. He's it's like he's got a leprosy or something. Like all of a sudden everyone hates him. Excuse me, the guy still leads the Devils in points every season. He's fucking 162nd overall pick, 6th round. He's playing with first overall picks, and he's better than them. So fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of same sentiments to the Canes. Like, and see, that's one thing. It's like there's a lot of people who are like, "Why are you panicking? You're sitting on top of the division." And I'm like, a paper dragon sitting on top of the division is still a paper dragon. Like, I'm not going to pretend that everything's okay just because the Canes are sitting in first. Like,
by 3 points, 2 points. It's not even a lot.
Yeah, it's not a big cushion. They blew multi-goal leads in 4 straight games. They had 5 out of a possible 16 points up until they won last night.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, they're not fully healthy. I'm like, well, when the team is fully healthy, they still go to the playoffs and get beat by Florida because they don't have that pushback. Like it was like during after the Florida game, the first one when they were in Florida. That's why I was making all the kamikaze memes, because I was like, I wanted that to be the mentality. I wanted everybody to put their little headbands on, go out there and do some bonsai stuff and send a message. I didn't even care if they won the game. I was at work.
Wreck them.
Yeah, it's like you gotta protect yourselves. You gotta send that message, be like, hey, you're not gonna push this around. We don't care about Colin Campbell, if that whole theory is true, which I'm starting to believe it a little bit.
Yeah,
the evidence is there, but it's like I'm sitting there watching that game at work, and I'm like, okay, please, line brawl. I'm hoping put Svechnikov, put Kokoniemi, put Nikishin, put Miller, put guys out there that will fight.
I love Kokoniemi too. He's another.
I do too. I've caught so much heat for defending him. It's like I want them to hurry up and get him out of there so that they'll realize he's not the problem. Because there's been a lot of interesting discussions about him lately.
They pile on him.
Well, here's the thing. It's like when it comes to the Kokoniemi discussion, there's no in between. You're either like me, who absolutely loves him and thinks that he's been done wrong, or he's the worst hockey player that ever lived, and him making it to the NHL and being a 3rd overall pick was a fluke. There's like no middle there, really. Whereas me, I'm like, I think he's a great player. Now, one of the things that does kind of do him in when you watch him, because the Hurricanes, it's kind of like with the Devils. Everybody on the Devils is a good skater. Like, if you ask me, like they're above average when it comes to the team across the board with the ability to skate.
Yeah, definitely.
The Hurricanes is kind of the same thing. So Kokoniemi, even though he's better at skating than 99.9% of the people who have ever walked the face of the earth, looks like a baby giraffe compared to everyone else. He is the clunkiest damn skater I've ever seen. But there's a lot of other stuff he does well. He throws hits. He's good at generating breakouts. When he has possession of the puck, he's good at using his frame to protect it. When he doesn't fan on it, he's got a cannon of a shot. His release is a little bit slow, to be expected with a bigger player with that much reach. It's like, okay, someone like Stankoven, kind of short, but he's strong, and he can get a shot off really quick. You can't expect Kokoniemi to be able to do the same things. Anatomically, it doesn't make any sense. But Haggerty, you're right, and that was one of the things I pointed out in the preseason. Was I said it looked like Kokoniemi was skating better. It looked like he worked on it, And, it's like people are like, oh, is it too late for a player at that stage in their career to improve their skating? And I'm kind of like, no, if they were good enough to get to the NHL, there's little things they can do to adjust it and make it better. And I felt like he did that. It's just Rod and KK. I think that disconnect is just not going to get mended. I think that's what a lot of it is. But when I go back and I look at the end of the 22-23 season,
that sucks.
He played really well, especially in the second half of that season. The line mate was helping him generate most of
23, you said?
Yeah. The line mate that helped him generate most of his offense that time was Svechnikov. He got injured.
Yeah.
When Svechnikov got injured, KK was still playing pretty well. He wasn't generating the offense at the rate he was, but he was still doing all the intangibles away from the puck and everything like that pretty well.
Right.
He was good in the playoffs. He was good when the season started in 23-24, even though the team was playing so poorly to the standards that they were expecting that they had a players-only meeting. After that, he was never the same. The rest of the team improved, and he didn't. So I don't know. The correlation is not causation, but it's like he's never been the same since.
That is odd.
There was one thing that one of my followers or mutual followers, Aaron Manning, wrote today, and I'd forgotten about this, but I remember being kind of like, about it at the time I heard it. There was one particular post-game interview where Rod talked about him, and he said he needs to stop trying to score every shift. I didn't think about that in passing. I was kind of like, well, that's kind of the point of you and I are both defensemen. We like having people who can go put the puck in the net for us because we know we're not going to, and to emphasize, we're both stay-at-home type of defensemen. Yes. I want to have people on the team who will go out there and put the puck in the net because I'm not going to.
Yeah, well, that's not what I'm looking to do. Yeah.
That's not my job. That's not my skill set. Let me give that to somebody who can do that.
We have a role and we play that role. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm good with being a role player. And one of the frustrating things about being a role player is that game is not in your hands at the other end of the ice. That's on other people, and it's frustrating. But it's
unfortunate,
like,
yeah.
It is, but it's like I want players like with that mentality on my team that say, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself. And he played like that for a long time, and then he was never the same after that players-only meeting. But then I go back and I look at that, and that was right before that players-only meeting, I believe it was. He said that thing in the post-game interview or a post-game media scrum or something like that, and I'm kind of like, you need to have at least a few players, provided that they can produce the results, which at the time he was, that have that mindset. At one point in time, the Hurricanes' second line was Kotkaniemi, Svechnikov, and Necas. That was the three most offensively minded forwards on that team. Because, people were like, well, wouldn't that... Yeah, and they would be like, well, wouldn't that be Aho? And I'm like, no, Aho's more of the complete guy. But as far as, like, I need a goal, Kotkaniemi, Svechnikov, Necas. That line is the one you want out there. That's the one you want to have.
To me.
All the offensive zone draws, you can get them, everything. And it was all going well. And then it was just he was never the same consistently after that time frame. And now he's kind of at the point where, and I'm particularly passionate about this topic. I'm actually working on a video project about it because I'm tired of people saying that he sucks because he doesn't. And I'm going to prove that numerically and with video evidence that he doesn't suck.
Good.
It's just,
you should.
He's ran his course here, unfortunately, and I don't blame that entirely on him. And, people are like, well, he should do this, this, and this. I'm like, have you ever had a job where you didn't necessarily hate your boss, but you just realized it was time for you to go somewhere else? Yeah, that's where he's at right now. He's kind of mailed it in. I don't blame him because when I was there on the first watching the game, I've watched him play so many times, and I can safely say I've never seen him play just that checked out as he did in that game. Any other time he made mistakes,
nonchalant playing, just like.
I've never seen him not care. I've seen him make mistakes, but I've never seen him just play that lackadaisically, and I know that that's why. And I look at this. It does. Yeah. And the funny thing about it was last season, despite him getting his minutes nuked, he had the second most 5-on-5 points on the team, and he had the highest 5-on-5 points per 60. And he still had decent power play production, even though he was on the second unit, which the way Carolina does it, they typically only get 30 seconds out of the 2 minutes of a standard power play.
So they do 1.5 and then 30
and the second unit does the last 30 seconds, if they even get that much.
If they can squeeze it in, yeah. Yeah,
so it's kind of like, people are, they're down on his production. They're saying he turns the puck over all the time and all this other stuff. But the thing about it is, it's when the comment was made about, oh, well, he needs to stop trying to score every shift. And then there was the players only meeting. I don't know if that was the order it happened in, but it was around that time. And then what he had built on the defensive side of his game went to hell after that. If you stop doing the things that you're good at, then things that you're okay at will then also go downhill. And I think that's what happened to him.
Yeah. Oh man, that's such a sad. I love the guy, and I'm supposed to hate the Hurricanes. That's like the rules,
Yeah, but we have the fun rivalry though. It's like we get excited to play against each other. It's like I have a different feeling going into playing against the Devils, and it's not because of the record. I have a different feeling going into playing against the Devils than I do against the Panthers. When Carolina goes to play the Panthers, I'm like, fuck this. This is war. Kill them all. Like, not literally, but you know what I mean. Whereas you guys, I'm just kind of like, it's a classic fun rivalry.
Rivalry game, yeah. And it's big, and it's not new. Some people think it's recent.
No,
this is
go back to the early 2000s.
Like 2004, 2005.
Or 2005, yeah.
And that's when it started. Oh, well, sorry. Yeah.
I shouldn't have brought that up. I know, Shock at the Rock.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. I was there for that, bro. That was
you were?
Sad.
Shit.
Oh, hell yeah, man. I mean, I've been at so many great. I was at the 2003, the triple overtime game against Tampa Bay in the not the Eastern Conference Finals, the Eastern Conference semifinals. Grant Marshall scored in triple overtime, and if you watch the video, you can see me and my brother because we were sitting behind the goalie, and we got the aisle seats. So right when the goal happened, we jumped into the stairwell. So when you watch the replay of that, you can see us like on the stairs. It's pretty. I like going back and checking that out every once in a while. But I've seen so many great games that for the Devils, but also I've been at so many bad ones and so many ones that I just wish I never got tickets for.
Yeah, like I felt that way about so I was at the game where Svechnikov tore his ACL. I wish I'd stayed home for that one. Yeah, so it was the first game I'd got it. So I had a whole lot of fun at all the games I went to that year. I went to the home open. So I didn't go to a game for about 2 years straight, closer to 3 actually, because the virus that didn't come from a lab in China derailed everything. And then when people did finally start going back to games, they were making them wear masks and all this other shit. I'm like, I'm not doing that until I can't do that. I want to have a normal experience. Apart. Yeah, it was all dumb.
I went to one of those games at the Rock, and I was like, done with this.
No, I'm waiting until I can go back to normal. But so my plan was I was going to go to a game if Carolina made it to round 3 in 2021, and they didn't. So I went to the home opener in the last game I went to before the home opener in 22-23 was New Year's Eve against Montreal in 2019 going into 2020. That was the last one I'd been to. So it'd been a couple of years since I'd been to a game. And I remember going there, and that was the year the Hurricanes wore the 25th, and they came out in that. And it was cool. It was kind of like a semi-surprise to me to see them in that sweater because I forgot they were wearing it that year. I'd seen the post and everything, but I forgot. I love that one.
I like that too, yeah.
And that moment that team came out of that tunnel, I texted my dad and I said, this team is special. I felt like that there was something there because we had the Stadium Series game later that year, and every game I was at, they won. Like both the ones in Washington.
Game?
Yeah, they won the Stadium Series game 4-1.
I forgot about that game.
The first game I went to after the Stadium Series game was when they played Vegas, and the Canes sucked that night already. And then I saw what happened with Svechnikov. I saw the awkward type of out of nowhere fall he did. He got up, he limped a little bit, he got off the ice, he went down the tunnel, he came back out during a TV timeout, and I saw him, he did a little bit of a lap, and I saw him go like this and then walk down the tunnel. I'm like, I knew immediately, I'm like, that's not good. I get back to Virginia, and the next day I see the thing about where Elliot Friedman said that he'd been diagnosed with the torn ACL, but he was getting a second opinion. I'm like, that's usually a clear-cut thing when that happens,
Second opinion on a torn ACL? What do you mean?
It's like the other doctor isn't going to tell you, no, it's fine. But I mean,
it's not.
I got to put myself in his shoes at that point that you're just kind of hoping for a miracle.
I guess,
but then the next,
man.
The next game I went to, next game I made it to after that was game 5 against you guys. And then that whole season was just magical to me. And it's I've never had the same belief that the team was going to get it done since then. It felt like that was when it had to happen. And then they put together an even better team the next season. And I just never could get to the point where I'm like, okay, this is it. But around that time was when Kotkaniemi was playing really well. He played well into the beginning of that season. And it's just a lot of people who say that he sucks and saying that he mailed it in and all this other stuff. I don't think that they looked at the big picture. And a lot of those people also think, and I love Rod, don't get me wrong. There have been people
As do I, by the way, for the record.
There have been many people accuse me of wanting him fired, and I've never said that, not once. And I've said on multiple occasions, I will cash app you $500 right now if you can find one time where I said that. That's how confident I am. I've never said anything like that. I understand that, you don't coach a team for 8 years and not eventually have a bad relationship with a player in a not so great contract. That's inevitable.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It has to happen. That's
you don't coach that long without that happening. But the thing about it is a lot of people, they don't separate Stanley Cup winning captain from coach, and they think that every decision he makes is great. You can't genuinely ask them, if anybody else was coaching this team, would you still want to give them runway to get the job done? The answer 100 times out of 100 will be no, if they were honest, but they won't.
But they're not going to be honest. That's not
no, they won't.
Answer. Yeah, of course.
Everybody, it's like people were calling for Maurice's head when he coached the Canes both times for less.
I love Paul Maurice with the Canes.
Yeah, sorry. It's like people were wanting Maurice gone for far less than this.
People want to call for the heads of coaches way too quickly. The Devils wanted Sheldon Keefe fired. Devils fans want him fired 2 months into his first season. Every Lindy Ruff, Lindy Ruff's a good coach. You can't deny that, but he wasn't great with the Devils. But people want to fire Ruff before he did anything bad. They just want the heads. They want heads. They want to hold everyone's head up by their hair, chop off their head and hold it. Someone's got to be put on a stake, and that's the way people think these days. It's like you can't just have a team and just watch it. There always has to be someone who's evil that has to be fired, and
there has to be a bad guy. Yeah, it's like, and you and I don't look at it that way though. We're kind of like, all right, hold on, let's take a second to think about this. And it's like, okay, like with the Devils, Sheldon Keefe got them to the playoffs despite all the injuries you guys had last year.
Right, and I liked it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, and it's like that wasn't easy. And then this season, it's like the East, especially the Metro, is really tight. Nobody's out of it.
It's unbelievable. You don't know who's going to be in the playoffs at all.
You don't. The Thanksgiving rule that we normally have didn't apply at all this year. It meant nothing. And then there's one comment in here I actually want to highlight, because Damon 1987 says, I believe that actually, quote from Brennan Moore was, KK tries to do a little too much and thinking he has to score every play. Yeah, it was something like that. But it's also like you have to have guys with that mentality of, I need to go put the puck in the net, or be the reason the puck goes in the net.
I'm out here to score. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have guys who can do that, you're not going to win. It's just
you need that drive. I mean, it's just.
But there's something there. Yeah, like you can't. One of the things that I said about Brendan Moore once, and people took it totally the wrong way. I said, not every single forward on the team has to get Selke votes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
They can play their role, because people forget about role players. Everyone has a role. They don't just go skating around and do whatever the fuck they want. It just seems like people think that positions don't exist, and I can't even think of an example right now. It's just people are really stupid, man.
Yeah, it's just funny how they're like that. And then see, here's what's really funny. Guess whose head was getting called for in Carolina not 3 weeks ago? Sebastian Aho.
What?
There were people wanting to send him to China because he had 5 bad games, maybe 6, something like that. And then he had 5 points the other night against Montreal. He had factored in on every single goal, whether he scored it or got an assist. And I'm like, what more do you want from him? And then he had a 3-point game, the other night. It's like,
I mean, a player going 5 games without a point And even if they're -4 after 5 games, that's not anything to be like crazy worried about. It's just not.
That's another stat that needs to go away. I'm so sick of plus minus. They either need to get rid of it or turn it back to a 5-on-5 only stat. Because
Exactly.
people look at somebody and say that like, oh, they're -27, but they had 34 points on the power play. So, but that doesn't count towards it. And especially if they're an all situations player, like it's just a dumb stat. It's been dumb for years. It's been obsolete since the dead puck era. It needs to be gone.
Yeah, there's really no reason. I mean, the only reason for that it's there, the only use for it is to make an argument that a player is better than another player. It's like the only reason you need it. It's really irrelevant. It doesn't make sense.
Especially now you have expected goals and all this other stuff that kind of accounts for chance quality and all that type of stuff. It's like, I wish that that's one thing I like that they were doing on a Devils broadcast that I was watching one time. They were talking about, I think it was Brett. They were talking about his expected goals percentage as opposed to having the plus minus on the graphic. I'm like, yeah, let's do more of this.
Right.
You got more cards?
Exactly. You won't believe what just happened when with these cards.
What you got?
First of all, you know Scott Morrow?
Yeah.
Scott Morrow?
Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I have to do a thing since you mentioned him.
Please do.
All right, there we go. It's done.
Well, I just pulled the Scott Morrow Young Guns. But Upper Deck Portraits right behind it, Sebastian Aho.
That is cool.
This is basically, I got a Canes pack. I mean, it's only 2 Canes cards, but that's right in a row. A Young Guns.
Yeah, 2 in a row. That doesn't happen much.
And a Portraits. So these are cards. So I'll send you pictures of those, and the rest of them are irrelevant. So we don't even have to go through them. But that's an ironic pack every pack I pick, I go and I'll pick like the third one from the bottom, and then I'll put it back and take the fourth one from the bottom right side. I can't just take one off the top. I got to feel them and shit. And I guess I picked a good one. I was looking to try and find Canes cards for this stream. That was a great pack.
I was expecting it to be a picture of a traffic cone. Yeah, that's basically what he was. But yeah, and it's like, oh, that reminds me.
I don't know anything about him.
He's. I
want to see if this is worth it.
How do I say this nicely? I can't say it nicely, so I'm just going to let it go. It's just, but yeah, it's like, oh, and so the kids, a lot of times when they come in the pro shop, they'll get cards out. They'll either buy like the O-Pee-Chee packs, or they've got a machine there that they can put quarters in. So they'll get them out of there sometimes and then open them up there. And the thing they really go crazy for is like the Bauer and CCM mystery mini sticks.
Oh, those are cool.
They're really cool. I'm thinking about buying one of the international ones to hope I can get the Aho one. I'm thinking about it. And it's like,
how much?
They're like $40 a piece, but it's like the biggest thing that deters me from messing with them is the fact that like there's some people who buy 3 of them and get the same 3 in a row, and I don't want to spend money and that happen.
So that seems to be a thing.
I'm waiting on the day that one of those kids opens up one of those mini sticks, and it's like one of the Aho ones, and he's like, I don't want this one. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'll take that.
Let me relieve you of this burden of having the Aho stick. But everybody who's gotten the Aho stick has been excited about it. And then they've got like
those
the regular,
so cool.
The mystery minis are cool as hell. It's like gambling though. That's why I don't want to spend the money on it,
because you could get Let's see what
they're really cool though. It's nice to see the kids enjoy them.
Yeah, but I'm a kid, so like I enjoy them too.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I try to be a kid at heart.
Portraits is only worth 99 cents.
Which one?
The Aho, but it's a great card. It's a nice card.
It is a great card.
Like, I collect cards. I don't care if they're worth $1 million or 4 cents. Like, I like the cards. You know what I mean? Like, this is a nice card. I like this set. I have the Jack Hughes one of this, and I also have Brat. I just like the way this one looks. The newest one, the 25-26 Upper Deck Portraits is weird. They have who do I have? Jason Robertson. I don't know who I have, but it's like they like split their face in half and like make one side like look creepy. It's really weird, but these are cool looking cards. I love this.
Yeah, the
card.
window frame type of look. I think that does look cool.
Really nice. And also another card I got in here, which I didn't even look at, was Jared McCann Aimbots, and it's a speckle card too. Hold on, I didn't even realize this is a Aimbots is usually a clear card, but you see all the speckles on it. That means it's a special edition, cool. Special version. Speckle. It's called Speckle. Let's see if it's worth anything. Anyway, back to our conversation. So the Moro card, it's worth $7.
How?
Not bad. I don't know, but people right now, it just sold like 2 days ago for $6.79.
Yeah, if someone said I could buy a Scott Morrow card for $7, I'm like, I will take it from you if you give me $7.
Yeah,
yeah. I had such high hopes for that guy. It was around the time, so I made that one really popular video I made about Alexander Nikishin when he was still playing in the K, and at the same time, I was getting footage together to make a video about Morrow back before he was still a prospect. This before he was even signed to his ELC and everything. And I'm watching it and I'm going like when I made the Nikishin video, it was all positives. It wasn't me saying he needs to work on this, needs to work on this, needs to work on this. It was essentially me saying, here's all the things he does well. This is the foundation.
Did he need to work on much at the time?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I don't think
now
so, right?
Now I don't think he needs to work on that much, but certain people are demonizing him, and I don't understand why, because we've been dying to get a player like that in Carolina forever now. And but when I'm trying to put the Morrow video together, I'm like, because I don't just do highlights, I get stuff from entire games so I can show stuff that happens, that's not just in goal highlights and stuff.
Behind the play, basically.
Yeah, and he's a defenseman, so that's, important. He's a little bit out of the frame.
Exactly.
And I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm kind of like, I didn't want to say it at the time because I'm like, I could be wrong about this. I'm not a scout. I'm not a coach. I'm not any sort of professional. But there was a lot of stuff I was seeing there that I'm like, I don't know about this kid anymore. I have a feeling that he's going to get to the NHL level and it's not going to go well. Now, I didn't expect it to go as bad as it did, but the thing that turned me off to him more than anything was in the first game against the Panthers in the playoffs last year, Matthew Tkachuk, who was playing injured, Morrow had him lined up perfectly to finish a hit on him. And that would have made that series a lot more even. He could have put him out then. And he just pulled straight the fuck up and skated right by him. And at that point I was like, I'm done. Get him out of here.
That's the guy to hit.
I'm like, you had a chance. Matthew Tkachuk was in so much pain. It was like in Call of Duty where it says you are hurt, get to cover. I'm pretty sure that's what he was seeing on in his eyes. Yeah. And Morrow was just kind of like, you know what? Yeah, he's like, you know what? Fuck it, it'll be fine. And he just skates right by him. And the puck had just gone. He could have just totally lit him up, and that would have been the end of it. And he just skated right by him. Everything else that happened, the defensive breakdowns, the delay of game puck over glass, I was willing to forgive all of that. Rookie mistakes, pressure cooker situation. But I was like,
if you make that hit, you could change the momentum of the game.
Yeah, that's all he had to do. That's why I was kind of like, I was pissed that he was in there instead of Nikishin, because Nikishin would have finished that hit. That would have been like, yeah, hello, NHL. Yeah. I'm here now. Fear me.
Yeah, I love
Morrow
that.
Can do that.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah, that's why I was.
This is what's great when you talk to fans of other teams, so you could hear these stories like that. We don't know about each other's fan bases or the little things like that I don't know anything about that story. But
I don't think a lot of people noticed it.
Yeah,
I don't think a lot of people noticed that at all, because like when I saw that happen, I remember when I saw that happen, I had just gotten home and turned the game on because I was at work that night, and like nothing else happened on that play. And I'm sitting there in the living room watching it, and I'm fucking irate. And my girlfriend's in there with me. She's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I don't want to talk about it right now." She's like, "Did they score or something?" I'm like, No, I don't want to talk
even
about it
worse. Right even worse.
Because I had no idea how to explain to her what had just happened, because I saw it like, okay, so like you see where the entire frame of my camera is?
Yeah.
For reference, he was over here on this side of the F-14. I saw the last split second of him pulling up on that hit. I don't see how many, there were not many people who noticed that. And at least watching on TV. But when I saw that, I was like, nah, it's done.
So it was almost like no one really caught it. it was
No.
hard to catch. Like if you weren't really paying attention.
When the period ended, I rewinded to make sure I saw what I thought I saw.
You wanted to you didn't want to make a mistake and be like,
Yeah.
you want to make sure you're saying the right word. You saw what you saw, and you don't look like
because
an
I wanted to
idiot,
make sure that I just wasn't pissed off at how that game was going, and that I actually did see what it was. Not an optical illusion.
You got a little bias going, and
Yeah, I made sure I had visual confirmation that I saw what I saw before I went on the internet with at the time I had like 1,500 followers, so still quite a bit. I wanted to make sure that I didn't go on the internet and say what I had to say later that night, which I pissed a lot of people off. They're like, "Oh, it's only one game. Why do you want to trade him for that?" I'm like, "This isn't fixable. Get him out of here." Like,
that's how I feel about Jack Hughes. He's not fixable. He's going to be injured every season. He's not going to be able to play for 20 at least 20 games. He's going to miss every year. So people are like, well, look what happens every time Jack Hughes is hurt, the team sucks. Well, you know what? Jack Hughes is hurt a lot. That's a problem.
Well, that's a problem on any team, though. If even if it's your best player, which I still don't think Hughes is your best player, but that aside, if your team is hurting that much from anybody being out of the line, and the same thing applies to Carolina, if your team is hurting that, then the roster construction isn't good enough, because it's like in 22-23, I think Slavin missed 7 games and Aho missed 8 at one point with some overlap there, and they won damn near all of them.
Right.
So that's a roster construction issue. You can't rely on one guy.
Right. So with the Devils, I don't actually. It's not really true. When Jack Hughes was injured last year, the Devils played very well without him. I actually made videos about every player on the Devils, and what they did while Jack Hughes was injured. You go on my X account and find those videos. I went player by player and showed every goal that they scored, because players were playing better while he was gone last season. Ironically enough, this year, when Jack Hughes got hurt, the team went to shit a little bit. Okay, it happens, but the Devils' core is fucked. It's just fucked anyway. You got Nico Hischier. This is the issue with me and Nico, not with me and him, but this is the issue I have with Nico Hischier. They gave this kid, with that, I say it's unwarranted. They gave him the C on his jersey purely because he was the first overall pick the Devils have ever had. It's the only reason they gave him the C. He's not a captain. He's not a good captain. He's not captain material at all. Dougie Hamilton is out there. No. Honestly, right now, Dougie Hamilton should be the captain.
That makes sense. The experience he's got and everything. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And if you watch the games, no matter if he didn't score for 20 games or not, if you watch the games, he's the one skating over to the refs and talking every time. He's the guy. Just like you remember Travis Zajac?
Yeah.
He was one of my favorite Devils of all time. He should have been the captain over Andy Green, even maybe over Bryce Salvador. When Parisi left the captain open, I swear they should have. Zajac was the captain. He's the guy who was he was definitely the Devils locker room captain. He was the guy who was pumping people up, giving people those talks, giving players those, he was that guy, but they didn't give it to him. They gave it to Andy Green, who at the time I said was the worst captain in the NHL, which I believe still, when he was the captain of the Devils, was the worst captain in the league. Because this is why I say this. If you asked a lot of actual hockey fans, they probably couldn't have told you who the Devils captain was. Like when Andy Green was the captain, they would have had to think about it, because Andy Green wasn't a name. He still isn't. Like, people don't know who he is. Like, he was the captain of the Devils for years. But if you ask someone who's like a fan of the Sharks, hey, who's the Devils captain? They probably would have been like, I don't know, Elias, it was just outrageous that they gave Andy Green the captain, whatever. But Nico Hischier, they put the pressure on him with the C, right? So you fuck up their whole trajectory by doing that. You don't give a C or an A to a player right away, ever. That's my opinion. That's what Lou Lamoriello would have done. And God bless him. Wish we could turn back time, make him a little younger, and take him back and bring him back to the Devils.
Yeah.
But
oh, and that does remind me of one other messed up situation the Hurricanes were in. Do you remember at one point they had co-captains?
Oh God, I hate that.
I do too. Yeah. It's like you don't have definitive leadership in the room at that point. It was like, and what pissed me off about it,
telling everyone
that was the year they brought Justin Williams back. It's like, oh, we're gonna do this. I'm like, yo, Justin Williams is sitting right fucking there, and you're gonna do this.
That's crazy.
And everything got instantly better the next season when Rod became the coach and made Justin. Because when they made Rod the coach, I'm like, I know who's going to be the captain. Like that's going to happen.
Because he knew, and so I even knew that. I'm not a Canes fan. I knew that.
Because I was like, anything other than that would be like,
by the way,
impossible.
Chatfield, love him. By the way, got to tell you that.
Very much.
Big fan.
The
Devils
I've been really impressed with
for the shit I'm saying tonight.
Well, I was really impressed with Nystrom so far. He's made some rookie mistakes here and there, but like overall, he's a very smart player. Gets a stick in the right lane, good skater, good gaps, everything like that. Definitely more of the poke checking type and everything like that, as opposed to laying the big hits and everything. But I like a lot of what I've seen out of Nystrom. Speaking of the Devils, there was actually one funny thing that happened at the store yesterday. There was a little boy in there and he was getting fitted for his first set of gear. And we have these things now that Sherwood makes, which are like these giant shirts with all the pads sewn into them. And then they've got the same thing with like the pants and the shin pads are sewn together. So that way the parents have an easier time just getting the gear on the kid.
Just
like
throwing it on.
Yeah. This kid, he's small.
Sherwood
he's like 4 years old.
That?
Yeah. Sherwood makes that now. Sherwood's actually made a really big comeback. Like I think their sticks still suck, but because I tried
coffee version.
Oh, not those. No, that was when them and Coho owned everything back then. But a Sherwood stick now, I wouldn't use them if they were free. And I had a wrecker, and I was kind of like, yeah, I'm selling this. I don't like this. But so we get this kid fitted and everything, and he's like, you ever seen when little kids try on hockey gear the first time they like start crying and shit sometimes?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's kind of what he was doing, and this is kind of messed up, but I can laugh about it now. And then the guy, he had a Yankees hat on, and he turned out being from somewhere up in New Jersey, and so they were Devils fans. And he says something about, he's like, "Come on, buddy, Jack Hughes wears his pads so that he doesn't get hurt." I'm like, he doesn't get hurt, and he kind of turns, he looks at me, he goes, "I can't." Yeah, and he's like, I kind of can't argue with you. I'm like, it was really funny, but actually, like, so we got him fitted and everything like that, and after he finally got all the stuff on, he stopped crying. And he starts running around the store with all the gear on, and he's like having a good time and everything. I'm like, see, that wasn't so bad. But he was just kind of like confused by like what was going on, I guess. But we got to talking and everything like that. And I at one point I was kind of like, hey, after you guys go ahead and finish getting him sorted out and everything, I went and got them a compression shirt with a neck guard and all that type of stuff in it that they needed. And I was looking to find him one of the really little Howies, because even though he was small for a 4-year-old. And I went to go find him a red Howie's practice jersey because, they were Devils fans. So I was trying to find him a red one, and I was going to heat press 86 onto it for him just so that he could, just so he could have fun with it and everything like that. And I went through the back, and I'm like digging through all these boxes and everything because the inventory said we had one, but I couldn't find it. And, I felt like kind of bad that I couldn't get him that, but, like really cool family and everything like that. But yeah, I said that. And then my manager comes by. He's like, you're not going to hate Jack at the Olympics too, are you? Because I told him, like, I'm a Canes fan, so I don't like them. I don't want anything bad to happen to him, but from like a sports rivalry standpoint, you know.
Of course. Yeah.
And he's like, are you going to hate him at the Olympics too? I'm like, I will probably hate him more after the Olympics.
Me too.
I was like, the only one I like is in Minnesota of the Hughes family.
Just like the Four Nations, the Jack Hughes. Go back and watch Jack Hughes' beautiful performance at the Four Nations.
Oh, that actually reminds me. I'm going to pull something up real quick. There was one particular play with him that I referenced that involved him and Slavin, where Slavin sent him the absolute most perfect pass imaginable. And the moment Hughes got it, and I'll pull the clip up real quick. He goes, He's like, he didn't know what to do with it. He sent him the absolutely perfect one in the slot, and he just totally fumbled the fuck out of it. Actually, let me see if I can find it. Hold on, I'm going to bring this up.
He had such a bad. Oh man, so it was embarrassing.
Oh, but the advanced stats said he was good though, and I'm kind of like, what did you watch?
That's why advanced stats are retarded.
Yeah, I mean, I like some of them.
They're
I like
not
them more.
always. Yeah, we both went right back on our word just there.
Yeah.
Me
Well,
too.
see,
I was about to.
I like them when they talk more about a whole line, not
Yeah,
an individual
that's yeah.
player. I
Right,
think that
right,
they
right.
work better that way. On
It makes
individual
more
player
sense
basis,
that way.
yeah, because you're accounting for everybody on the ice.
Right.
Whereas with an
And role
individual
playing.
player, you're not accounting for all the other stuff that's going on.
Right, and so it doesn't really mean anything. And you know, when
Where
you're doing
is
by the line, that means something. You could draw conclusions about things doing it that way. It's a good point. You pulling that clip up?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, because there was.
I got one more pack. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I got to find this one particular one though, because there was one where he hit him perfectly in the slot and he just fumbled the hell out of it.
Right.
There it is. Okay, cool. I found it.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, it's like I kind of don't blame him for not handling this very well, just because of how quick it came to him. But it's not like Slavin put a ton of heat on it. Just kind of I might be thinking of a different one. There was one where I remember he sent it to him and he tried to settle it down, and then once he got it settled down, it was in the exact same spot. And once he got it settled down, he was kind of like, but okay, that one's not on him. I'm thinking of a different one then.
Yeah, that one
might have been in the Canada
normal.
game. Yeah, no, that one, no, that I'm thinking of a different one then, because there was one where he actually settled the puck first and like, okay, so I apologize, Jack Hughes. That was
I've
not
seen
the
him
highlight
do that with the Devils.
Like where he settles it down and then fumbles the shit out of it.
Yeah, and actually, give it away most of the time when he does that stuff. It's almost like like his brain like zaps out for a second. It's I've seen it many times, you know, because he's most of the time he's Jack Hughes. He's out there, he's skating around doing too much as usual. And then with those random times, it's almost like he's getting he got zapped, like electrocuted for like 1 second, and something weird happens, and the puck just goes to the other team. You know, it's very odd.
I'm gonna type one quick reply in here.
Do what you got,
something, and then we'll keep going.
Stankoven. Let me find where I put the other ones. There they are. You got to put them in their sleeves.
Yeah, because I got to get up early because I've got ice time tomorrow, and then I'm gonna do some stuff at the store when I don't have to deal with customers.
How hard is it to get ice time these days? Is it
here? It's not terrible. So I got in on a morning skate here that goes down twice a week, and I'm in the beer league here too.
It's an open morning skate?
Kinda. It's like it's an invite only thing. You kind of have to know somebody, but like me working at the rink, it wasn't hard for me to make that connection and everything.
Obviously, yeah.
So I go pretty much every Tuesday and some of the Fridays. It just kind of depends on like what all I got going on, and then I've got my one league game a week. But like the league over wintertime here, instead of them having the super late games, we just take like 2 weeks off sometimes, which I prefer that over playing at 11:30 at night and then dragging my ass out of bed the next morning after 4 hours of sleep. So yeah, I'll take that 10 times out of 10. I'd rather have bye games and not have to deal with that type of stuff.
Can you hear me? It just told me I was muted. Okay,
yeah, I can hear you.
It said my microphone unplugged and shit, but it didn't.
That's weird. Mine does that with this one sometimes. I got to get a new cable for this one because it's not working as well as it wants. Eventually I want what you have, one of the Shures.
Yeah, this Shure MV7 I've had for like 3 years, and it's perfect. I just, for the first time, I bought this red, what do you call it?
I was going to ask you about that, if it came like that or if you bought that. Okay.
No, it came with black one. I bought a red one because I like it. I think it looks good. And if anyone's seen my podcast, please check out my podcast today. I got the Taylor Hall of Shame clip in there, but segment. But I stay in the dark. I have like these lights that are red. I have red lights, and I make the room dark, and I put the red lights on, and so you can't really see me very well. So what this does is it gives it a little more color in that dark when I'm doing the podcast, because most people listen to it, so it's not it's not very visual. But today's is. I did a lot of clipping today, so.
Yeah, eventually I want to get red and black LED lights and run them all the way around like the ceiling right here. And I'm gonna get a little bit warmer of a light bulb for that big thing up there, and then I want to get a better ring light for over here. Like when I finally start my contracting job and everything like that, one of the first things I'm gonna do is start building my new computer, because this one, like, I put it through hell and back doing between sim racing and making YouTube videos and all kinds of other shit I do. I'm surprised, and I bought this used from a friend of mine, and it's held up incredibly well. So I got to start building a new one, and I'm gonna like keep this one still, and I'll use it for other. What I actually thought about doing was putting a bunch of like old PS2 emulators and all kinds of other stuff on this one, and then I've got a TV up on my wall right here, and I'll just use it like as a console instead of buying a new one, because it's like when it comes to video games, there's not a whole lot of new shit I like. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of new stuff.
There's not a lot of good shit. There's not a lot of good new shit. I'd rather
play the old. You know what I've played more than anything since I got that computer as far as games go, other than like my racing games? Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2005. Because there's like a million mods for it, and I've played the hell out of that game.
I've never played that game, but I know it pretty well because my friends were playing that game all the time.
Oh yeah, I was never
I was never like a PC gamer. I'm not a gamer at all. So, like I had a PS2 when I played Guitar Hero because I'm a musician.
Oh, everybody played that though.
Yeah,
but everybody played Guitar Hero. That's one thing, dude.
And
I was
NHL games,
Oh yeah, the old NHL games were the best. Like the ones now, it's just copy and paste every year.
It's all the same shit.
Yeah, it's like back then I felt like there was at least some variation. Like you can it's like if you put any of those games in front of me, aside from like knowing differences on rosters, I wouldn't be able to tell them apart nowadays. Back then, it's like each one was a little bit different. At least you could tell them apart.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, old games were just way better. But I think it's just like me. I like my racing. It's like I get to play hockey in real life, so I can care less if the NHL games are good. But I like my racing games and my flight simulators because I don't have a race car in my driveway and I don't have access to a fighter jet in real life, so I get to do those things that way. No, unfortunately, no. I mailed in my voucher for my personal F-16 and I never heard back. It might have been a scam.
Was it a Nigerian?
I believed him, man. I was desperate.
Was it from Lagos, Nigeria?
Lagos, Nigeria. Or, dude, like my girlfriend watches a lot of those videos about scammers and stuff, and some of the stuff they try to come up with, like, they like move you over to they try to move you over to WhatsApp and get you to pay in gift cards and shit.
It's
and
crazy.
what's really disgusting about that is how much they target elderly people, because they were doing that to they were doing that to my grandmother for a long time. And I remember like there was one day I walked in there while she was talking to one of them and everything. And I'm not going to repeat what I said when I took the phone from her to the guy because it was not pleasant, but I had every right to say everything I said, and I'll leave it at that. It was not nice though.
I don't blame you, man. They purposely target elderly people and they scare them. They tell them they're going to get arrested. Some of these people, are sick.
My grandmother had early onset dementia when they really started targeting her. There was one guy called her and tried to tell her that my dad was in jail and tried to tell them that I was dead. And I was like, and we were sitting right fucking there.
Because the problem is once like, for instance, I don't want to use your grandmother as an example. We'll use a random person. Once one person gets involved with a scammer, they take that person and send them to all the other scammers. So then they'll triple team the person, and they'll pretend, hey, I'm this person's best friend, and you got to send money to me, and it's like it becomes this whole new world, and I don't know how people get caught up in it. It's usually because they're old and they get scared of the threats. Yeah, and those guys are fucking nasty to these people too. They're like, fuck you, go, you get the car now. Like, who the band showed, showed.
They did a lot of that. They tried doing a lot of that type of shit to my grandmother, though. It's like, but yeah, she got called one time while we were all sitting there eating, and and this person on the phone tried to say that I was dead and that my dad was in jail, even though we were both sitting right there at the same fucking table. Luckily, she was still lucid enough to realize, oh wait, no, they're right here. A few years later, that wouldn't have worked so well. But
she wouldn't have, right? Yeah.
The one disconnect they have, though, is luckily people her age don't really know how to use computers and smartphones and shit really well. So a lot of the stuff that they need to get those things, luckily, they don't have.
That's yeah, and you know you see a lot of the scammers being like computer, like it's like I'm from not Windows, Microsoft, but that's not the biggest scams. Like they pretend they're the IRS. That's like the biggest one, and that's when they say hey, if you don't send $5,000 here, whatever, the police are going to be at your door and you're going to get arrested. And then I just heard the other day of one with an old lady who was crying. Her husband died 2 days before, and this guy's taking all of her money, and she's believing him, and she's like, I can't pay for my husband's funeral then. And the guy doesn't give a fuck. But luckily it was scammer payback, and so they were watching live and cut it off. And so they saved her. Those guys are great.
Yeah, because my girlfriend likes watching what's his name? The dude that has he looks like Eric Church kind of Kit something.
Yeah, Kit Boga.
Kit Boga, that's it.
Kit
and then
Boga.
There's another Pleasant Green. That's another one that she likes.
Pleasant Green, I love him.
Yeah,
I love him.
Yeah. He's funny. He's got some witty stuff.
Yeah, he does use he does use those cheap jokes though, like the names he uses.
Bend over.
Yeah. You know, which is so funny because he uses that name so many times too, and they still don't catch on to that name. He's good. Pleasant Green is a great YouTube channel.
So how about we do one more pack of cards and we'll call it a night?
Did I do them all or do I have more? I think I did them all.
You did them all?
Yeah. Yep. So we got three Canes cards.
Yeah, and then the next time I think the Canes and the Devils play, I want to say it's March.
Yeah, I believe it's March.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a stream that day since we didn't get to do it this last time.
Yeah, yesterday wasn't the best day. Today I'm in a great mood because they gave me some medications and they've been
I'm glad you're
running
feeling
through
better.
my bodies. Yeah. I'm gonna be up all night. I got like energy and shit still. It's weird. Go walk the dogs, maybe.
Yeah, I gotta do the same thing with this one right here. See, I'm happy because it's finally back to being normal low country South Carolina weather here because it's only 57 out, which I'm really happy about.
The temperature's rising here. It was like 25 for the last week and a half, and now it's going 30s, 40s, and then by the weekend we're almost 60 degrees this weekend.
Yeah. Yes, I know, Siri. Thank you. I know it's 8:25 p.m. I don't know why my watch just randomly told me that it's 8:25 p.m.
That was very odd.
Yeah.
Does that normally do that?
No, I think that I hit the button on the side of it accidentally, which does it activates the whole voice recognition thing, just like when you hold it on the side of the phone. And then when I did that, I think thought I was asking what time it was. Canes are at Jersey on 1/17. That's right. The last one is in Carolina in March at some point. I want to say that's on the 28th. I think. I can't remember, but yeah, 1/17.
We got a game. We got in 2 weeks then, or 1 week.
Were you planning on going to that one or no?
2 weeks. I don't plan on going to any games until like the day before, so I don't know.
Okay.
But,
we'll tentatively schedule doing one that day then, if you want to, and if you end up going to the game, no big deal. Too. It's a Saturday.
Yeah. There's a good chance I might go.
Yeah, that's why I figured you might go since it's a Saturday. Saturday's best time to go.
Yeah, because I have when I go to the Rock, I'm not trying to like brag or anything, but I get hooked up when I go to the Rock, and I have I found a guy. Someone messaged me, and we'll end it after I just want to tell you this story real quick. Someone messaged me and said, "Hey, I found this guy on Facebook, and he's got a Dawson Mercer plate for the card for his rookie card, like the plate they used to make it, and he wants to give it to him." He's like, do you know anyone that could maybe like get his attention or whatever? And I do, so like that's something really cool that I just came across because I actually want the fucking thing. So I have someone who's gonna talk to Mercer and see if he wants it. And then the guy's gonna come from I forgot what state he lives in, but he's coming for a game in March, I believe, and he wants to be able to give Mercer the thing. Even if he doesn't meet him. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be middlemaning this guy, being able to meet Dawson Mercer and give him the plate, which is so cool.
That is
That's
really cool.
I love doing things like that for people, especially like people from overseas. I might have said this in the last stream, but when people come from Australia and stuff for Devils games, I make sure I meet them and I bring them into like meet Danico and Don, or Danico and Spalding, and reach all the people in Bryce Salvador. I like to help people out. That's
cool.
Why I give away all my memorabilia. I like giving things away and doing. I'm a nice guy. People hate me for some reason, but I think I'm a nice guy.
Well, the people who hate you are not normal, because like anyone who threatens you and your family over wanting a player traded is not. They've got bigger problems than whatever you can do anything about. Yeah. I can't imagine having my life so wrapped up in something that I would like actually go that route over a small disagreement
and say something about children. Like,
that's the weird part, or the even weirder part.
That's where they go directly. And the funniest part is when you click the account, and I'm sorry for anyone who's listening to this if you do this, but it's very ironic. And if you watch on YouTube, if you've ever seen, I'm sure you've all seen the predator catchers and stuff like that. Well, they're getting a lot of these guys from a certain place, and when you click these people's you look at their bio, they all say, "Follow me on Blue Sky." That's where they go.
Blue Sky's more violent than the Old Testament. Like, yeah,
it's also full of child diddlers. So,
yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah, like that's literally like the best place to. That's where all these catchers are getting these guys from Blue Sky, because
making it easy for them.
Yeah, it's literally like a fish in a barrel. Yeah. All right, everybody. So let's get rolling.
Well, everybody,
thank you so much for having me,
dude. I'm just happy you were here, man, and I'm happy you're feeling better and everything. Everybody who commented, I know we normally get to the comments, but couldn't get to it tonight. However, I will more than likely be streaming tomorrow before the Hurricanes versus Miko and the Stars. So I will see you all then. JJ, thank you again for joining me. This has been great as always.
You're welcome. Thank you, BG Edits, for your comment, by the way.
Yeah, BG's awesome. If you don't follow him, he's cool. He's great.
I will follow him. Hey,
all this aesthetic stuff that I have here is because of him. He designed this frame. Yeah, all BG, this is him.
I need your help, bro.
Yeah, he's great. Help. Yeah, like my frame and like my background and all that stuff here, he designed all that for me. Like my logo on X, everything, he made all that, because like I had something completely different going on, and I kind of told him like something I wanted, and he went in a completely different direction than what I initially asked for, and I'm glad he did, because what he came up with was a million times better than what I could have ever dreamed of. He gave the whole reason I have the look I have is thanks to him.
I think I asked you about who did that, and you told me. Do I already follow him?
I probably do. Yeah, here I'll tell you in 2 seconds, because then again, you and I have like 500 mutual followers. It would take me forever to scroll through that.
BG Edits 1, is that what it is?
I think it's the same thing over on X, or it might just be BG Edits on X. I think he's on Instagram too.
Is he still in the chat?
Yeah, he's still in here. He just posted.
What's your my at DevilsJoint X on?
I'll type it in there for him.
All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I need your help, man. I saw his setup, and I was like, who did that? Because I need a little assistance with mine.
One other really cool thing, and I don't know if he did this on purpose, but either way, I got to point this out because I've been meaning to do this while he's in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There's 21 warning flags under there. That's perfect because that's my number. That's what I've worn on every sweater I've ever had, as long as it was available. I don't know if he did or not, or if that's just the way it happened to go down, but like that makes me so happy that
it fits 21 perfectly.
It does. It's like but 21 is 21's on pretty much all my sweaters. Like all my, like I've got some of the Hurricane. I did, bro. LL, you're welcome. Yeah, you did do it on purpose, I guess. But yeah, it's like all my Hurricanes practice sweaters that I would wear when I played pickup and like on my Tomcats team and anywhere. Like anytime I joined a new beer league team and a 21 was already taken, I tried to get them to give it up. I'm like, hey, I'll pay for your new sweaters and I'll buy you dinner or something to get them to change their number. And once in a while it's worked, but I'm wearing 74 on my current team because 21 was already taken. So you can probably guess why I wore that.
74. Yeah. Well,
you already know why I'm wearing that one. That's a good number.
Do I have my jersey? I had one of my high school jerseys literally right next to me before. Damn it. I wanted to show it. Whatever. We'll show it next time.
Yeah, because we'll do this. If you're not at the game on the 17th, we'll do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. We should do it again either way.
Oh, absolutely. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next time.
All right. Good night. Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for having me.